All right, guys. Welcome to the Gimmick Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. Of course, I'm hosting the most Black Spartan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, show guy Joe, who is, of course, he's climbing second ranks. How's it going, Joe? Joe, can you hear us?
Joe, can you hear us at all?
Uh-oh.
Aging Joe.
Horribly delayed and lagged Joe to know him.
Oh.
I was wondering for a second. I don't know if you can hear us or not. And of course, we do have the man, the myth, the legend, who knows everybody. Tafari, what's going on, man?
Happy to be off work, TGIF.
Oh, I can understand that very much well. Guys, as you see, we're all a little bit in the older range. So yes, choice words may be used, but we don't try to cuss on purpose. At the same time, we may show trailers that might be too intense for younger viewers, but viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, really a lot to kind of get into, but I want to start off on something I did not have on my bingo card for trailers this week. Borderlands, which has been a long gestated movie that I think we got casting about it a year ago. Just a little less than 48 hours ago was the first trailer for it. And just what are you guys' opinions on this?
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
What is that smell?
Piss wash gullet.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
Roll it up! It's Pete. It's Pete. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did I get the name?
It's in my mouth!
Do you know how many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues. Time to make it rain with your body parts.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
Step aside, bitches!
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What am I doing? I needed a gun. So you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world, and you're special.
Uh-oh. Kill them all. What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Ooh, actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really waiting for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
That was the trailer test for Borderlands, so I'm trying not to laugh too loud. I'm gonna toss it to you guys first. What did you think, Tafari, of the trailer? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this screams James Gunn to me, just because it feels like a Guardians trailer, but I'm not complaining. But Tafari, what do you think?
I will say, even with like the team looking into like the hole at the beginning on the trailer, it's giving Guardians and Suicide Squad vibes. And I've never played a single Borderlands game, but it looks like a visual of all the ridiculousness I've heard you can do in a Borderlands game. So I'm sold.
What about you,
Yep.
Joe?
I am thoroughly unconvinced.
Thoroughly unconvinced. May I ask why?
We've had trailers like this before,
Mm-hmm.
namely the original Suicide Squad, where it makes it look like a Guardians movie, and it turns out nothing like a Guardians movie. I still do not like Kevin Hart as Roland. I think this is a horrible casting choice. I understand the levity, but the levity was the fact Roland was the straight man in the chaos. He was not part of the chaos. So I think putting Kevin Hart here is horrible casting. Not to say that I dislike Kevin Hart. I just think in this particular role, it is very poorly done. I don't mind Jack Black as Claptrap. I don't understand, since we do not need to see his face, why we could just not get the original Claptrap. There serves no purpose to get an actor of Jack Black to do it.
Well, that's kind of the same thing with Tiny Tina. Who plays Tiny Tina could have actually done it.
No, I want an actual child of chaos, not an adult masquerading as a 16, 14, 15-year-old.
But that's kind of where the problem is, though, because I can understand Claptrap, but that kind of goes back into the voice acting issues, because this was around the time where the strikes were in place. So I can understand why they may go differently. Although I'm on the other side. I mean, Roland was a serious person in Borderlands. I mean, I love Borderlands 1 through 3, the Telltale Signs, the prequels. I get it that, we want to see our Borderlands characters as they are portrayed in video games. I just think that I do want to see Roland differently. But at the same time, I'm like, not against it. I want to see what they do with it. Although you had me up until I was with you until you said the first Suicide Squad. You're talking about the Hollywoodized Suicide Squad or the James Gunn version?
The Will Smith one, where the trailer was very much like a Guardians trailer.
Yeah.
Going to Can't Stop Me Now, and then the movie was completely nothing like that.
Okay, see, I was very different. The first time I saw a Suicide Squad trailer, I was like, that's terrible. When I first saw them, to me, yes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I definitely agree with Kate Blanchett being, what's her name? I
Lilith.
very rarely play Borderlands, so Lilith, thank you.
Yeah, she plays
And then I
Firehawk.
have no idea what role. What's her name?
Who? Jamie Lee Curtis?
Thank you. I have
She
no
plays
idea who Jamie Lee Curtis is supposed to be.
Dr. Parrish. She's supposed to be a weird off scientist, but again, I'm completely okay with that. But
like I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic on this one, but like there's so much going against it in my view right now. It's just like, I mean, I'm sure I'll go see it. I'm sure I'll have a great time. It's just this trailer does not inspire confidence in me the way it does everybody else, and that's just because like there are certain aspects that you need that they have done in casting that I wholeheartedly disagree with.
Okay.
It's like I said, you need a Zeppo if you're pairing with the Marx Brothers.
I mean, I can see your point. Like I said, I'm hoping for it to be good. Now, I mean, Borderlands has plenty, and also Safari. If you never got to play Borderlands, highly recommend that you do. Just because, not that you won't understand the story. I'm hoping the way they went with this, that you do not have to play any of the games to pick up on this. At least that's my hope. Outside of that, outside of playing the games, it's supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to have a lot of dark. It's supposed to have a lot of South Park-ish humor. So again, I'm looking forward to it. Again, we will see when that comes up. Just hope it doesn't flop. But like I said, the first time I saw this trailer, I immediately thought James Gunn had a hand in it, just because it feels like a James Gunn trailer, which kind of says a lot about his impact on how he does certain movies and how he presents them in trailers for us to see. But speaking of other things moving right along, speaking of other things that we want to see, who thought that we would get a Peacemaker trailer that didn't have the wigwam sound, that didn't have the wigwam, do you want to taste it? I'm kind of mad about this. Not because of the fact that as of now, Peacemaker is available to play in Mortal Kombat 1, but the trailer I'm about to show, I am heavily disappointed that there is a golden opportunity that it should have been played. But for all those that haven't seen it, here is the trailer for it.
This is no time to smile.
Hell yeah, it is. Fight a fire god is coming off my bucket list. Woo-hoo. Suck on that.
Fight!
Eagerly.
Understudy.
The gravity. Sonic boom. Torpedo. You're the first bangable monster chick I've met.
You think me a monster?
Eagerly. The gravity. I've had shits take more effort than beating you, Will.
I will so enjoy killing you.
Force field. Torpedo. Eagerly. The gravity.
Here's Janet.
Booyah!
Finish him.
Go time. Activate Sonic Boom. Peace unlocked.
Fatality. Peacemaker wins.
Now, what's crazy about that, guys, aside from Peacemaker being unlocked, and of course, he is available now, as you guys can see. If you did purchase the Premium Edition of the Combat Pack, or you can purchase them separately, depending on how you feel about it. Fellas, we saw a little bit of the fight interactions. You saw that he is going to be utilizing a lot of the helmet. Eagerly will be used as a projectile. And of course, he looks like he's more of a anti-air character. But what do we think?
I think we still got more of the trailer.
That's
was this something else at the end?
oh,
Yeah.
Well, let me see, because it was just a knockoff. But let's play it anyway.
They muted it. Hold on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's one thing already wrong with this.
What's that?
Janet Cage should have punched 3 heads out of that person from that old MK1 glitch, because her jumping thing is an actual homage to MK1 Johnny Cage's jumping one punch that glitched people out of constant air arcs into an infinite.
Fair. I guess it's kind of a thing I can live without. But again, it's kind of interesting to see Peacemaker, because I was wondering how he would fight, just because he will be utilizing his weapons. I was kind of hoping to see the sword, but see more of the sword than the helmet. But I'm not complaining about that. But Eagerly being used, for all those who don't remember, Samurai Showdown, there was a certain character that used an eagle, and it's reminded me of that. But
you got against Mama, huh?
It's just over the top and ridiculous, and I think it's fun. I didn't see the Peacemaker show, so I didn't know the helmet did all of that.
Oh yeah, in the show,
helmets did different things.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, in the show he had different helmets, but because I guess just to keep it simplified in Mortal Kombat world, the helmet just does various things. But I'm not against that though. But I love the fact that
thing.
Go ahead.
The real interesting thing is that Eagerly interrupted an assist.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty
you
sure
don't have any other. You don't have any other moves that interrupt an assist. An assist either comes out, is blocked, or it hits. This is the only move we've seen in MK1 thus far that interrupts an opposing assist.
Until they debunk it, until they decide to patch it. But you're right though. But at the same time, the fact that it's just, also John Cena, I was letting you say before I forget about this. John Cena actually does voice him, so I mean that's a plus that we will be getting his voice in Mortal Kombat. But yeah, So far, I mean, I'm liking the combat pack. I'm liking the fact of how Peacemaker plays. I'm still waiting for other ones to arrive, but
I feel like they're gonna save Homelander for last for this first because it's still the first combat pack. So
yeah.
And then Anthony Starr claims he's not voicing, but I'm like, I've seen 3 other people this year say I'm not doing the character, only for them to do the character.
Right. Which we know he's doing the character, but come on now. You're doing season 4 of The Boys is coming out in June. So it's like, you are free, sir. The season has already been wrapped. But again,
there's only one problem with this.
What's up?
Is that the next day Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out, so no one's going to be playing John Cena.
I'm trying to finish the first one now, and I just saw Advent Children for the first time.
Oh yeah, he just saw Advent Children, and I was like, Rebirth. Oh, that's gonna be
yes, all the dilly dally and all the shilly shally.
Good God! Speaking of dilly dally, guys, I have to ask you this, just because it's new and it's fresh, and we've been expecting it. Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. Really, not to give away. Again, we are not going to give you spoilers. We are just giving impressions on what we liked about it. The 8 episodes that are currently available on Netflix right now. Guys, what do we think? Did Netflix get another home run, or should we be concerned?
It's a 6. People's names are pronounced correctly, and some stuff happens, some stuff doesn't, and some stuff gets diminished because we don't want to be sexist, despite the fact that that's a whole character arc for a character.
Okay. Safari?
They took a lot of wiggle room with some of the changes. I'll give it like a 7.8. But I did like some stuff, especially having other things to compare it to. Like, I will say that I like how they handled the Blue Spirit, because sadly that was
good.
That was like the only part I really liked of the original Last Airbender movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even that took some getting used to. So seeing how they nailed it this time around, I really liked it. I really like how they did they gave a little more context to the conversation that they had after we discovered who the Blue Spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
Some other stuff, I can see they took liberties here and there, and they really did a good job trying to, I guess, drive home the emotional aspect of being the last Airbender. But I think other things got sacrificed for that, is what we can clearly see.
Okay. I guess I'll join y'all on that group as well. I'll give it an 8.5. I knew there were going to be some liberties they were going to do with it, just because, again, and also, really quick side note, when you have something coming out that everybody was hype about because we saw the trailers and we love the costumes, we love the set designs, we love the fact of how you were telling a great story, please, oh please, up until the point of the release, please don't release stories like the creators left, the original creators left, or we're changing a character story, or A, B, and C before it releases, because you kind of taint that a little bit. Because if we're going to find out, we're going to find out when we're watching it. But at the same time, I get that to keep things PC and to keep things everybody happy to a certain extent, you didn't really have to go that far. But again, to me, 8.5 would be the score I would give it. But I still love that Netflix really did a great job on this. But what are you going to say, Joe?
I'm honestly getting really tired of them constantly retelling this story. Like, I want to know why we can't adapt other Avatar stories or make up other Avatar stories. I mean, we see how far the line goes down. We can pick one and just do that point in time. We have 2 books that we can adapt. I definitely would love to see The Rise of Kyoshi adapted.
That's what I think.
Another 80 years. Let's see what the Avatar. I think I said this last time, but I don't think you were here, Tafari. Let's see what the world of Avatar looks like if it was adapted in the 1990s. Because this series moves forward by 80 years. So we're in the 1820s or 1830s, 1840s originally. We jump forward to the 1920s, 1930s with Korra. Let's jump another 80 years. Let's see what airbending or bending is like if you add in like the 90 Republic City in the 90s.
Well, that's why I would counter that with saying Netflix is, I think, doing what they've done with previous anime adaptations. I think they want to. I'm not saying it's the safe route, but I'm saying that what they wanted to do was see how the first round goes, and then really go from there. Now, do I think that those other books should be covered? I fully agree with you, Joe. Those other books should be covered, but I think they want to establish that, okay, is this what the crowd wants before we move forward, kind of thing.
I think they are, because I know they're adapting, I think, one of the adult Avatar stories, because I know the creators left to go work on their own extension of Aang and his friends basically during their horrible parent era.
Yeah.
But I've always said that too. Like, I would have taken like an Avatar Chronicles where we spend one episode a day with, or one episode is just a day with a different avatar. And just we can just keep revisiting our favorite ones, but we never gave a solid number of how many previous iterations we had. We know who the first one is. We know who the last current to have been. I've always said I would have liked to see an Avatar story. Like if we did a future Avatar story, I would have liked to see one that like what if it was twins who could only keep 2 elements at a time and they switch every time they use the Avatar state? Has always been like my dream story.
Well,
like we know it goes Aang, Roku, Kyoshi, and then the waterbender or something.
Yeah, it was like a waterbender right before him, and then everybody between that and Juan,
No, there was one other airbender that got a novel. Ming something is one of the first. It gave people more insight to the airbending race.
Yeah. See, that's where I go. See, that's the part I want to find out about. Because the book you just described, I have no idea about. And yeah, that's the part. Now, see, that's a prime example of what Netflix can do eventually. That again, for guys like me that are just jumping late on the last Airbender train, I would love to know more about that, honestly. But I think Netflix is really taking it safe. And again, safe worked. We saw with One Piece. They did a safe, modified East Blue-ish kind of run with it. So I can imagine they'll do the same thing with The Last Airbender. But it seems overall we're all in the same group about that. But really quickly, before Joe, I ask you about the Bad Batch premiere because I have to get this off my chest because it bugs me. Before I get to the Bad Batch, which by the way, again, final season's coming up. But again, I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. This is what I want to do. I apologize for yelling. Paramount Plus. In the event that you ever look at our show and say you want to sponsor us, understand that this is a rant because you have taken a beloved franchise. You've taken probably one of the most popular franchises in modern video game history. I've forgiven you for the first season of this. The second current season of this pretty much tells us that you guys do not read lore. You guys do not believe in using the already established Halo universe. You guys just believe in telling a story that ultimately makes no sense, and yet you wonder why nobody watches it. All I can sit there and say to sum this up, after seeing a couple of episodes of season 2, I can understand why there may not be a season 3. Because you would think, and again, I'm going to keep this short because I'll be ranting all night. You would think after season 1 that you guys would have learned your lesson. You would have thought that we never saw Master Chief without a helmet. From Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, including Halo Infinite, we've never seen Master Chief without his helmet. Okay, nitpicking. I understand that. But the story that you try to tell, including the fall of Reach, you literally did the fall of Reach, and not one member of Noble Team is aware, is there. How? And then you expected, this is why I sit there and say this. I've said it, Tafari has said it, Joe has said it on numerous occasions. The number one problem with these type of shows is that outside of storytelling, you guys don't look at the already established literature and say, let's tell a story from that. Instead, you decide to this travesty that is now season 2, to where I'm just like, I have no visible reason to watch it anymore. But again, just my short rant. Halo, if you do get a season 3, which I heavily doubt, do better. But you guys want to add on to this? Because I know I made myself watch season 2. I'm not sure if you guys have watched an episode of season 2.
I've watched past episode 1.
Okay, so okay, good.
So, question: this is all over the news. They say they killed a fan favorite character in the latest episode.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and spoil it. I don't give a crap.
Yeah, I don't have time for it.
I will just say it like this, because again, I will try to respect the sanctity of this. The black guy.
Oh.
Hey, Eric, thank you for watching.
How dare they?
I'll put it that way. The black guy. If I know it's very discerning, but just know that in this picture, it's one of them.
Do we still have young, clicky Asian sidekick?
Still alive. But no, it's the black guy. But no, it's just that Halo is one of my favorite. Halo, again, is one of my favorites. And I was having so much hope about this series, and yet we get that crap. But anyway, just a quick rant. So, Joe, you saw the Bad Batch premiere. Tafari, have you got to see it yet?
I haven't. I was saving it for tomorrow.
Okay. Joe, really quickly, your impressions on it.
Actually, I stumbled upon it on accident. I was on Disney Plus looking for that Kojima documentary. And then it's like, new Bad Batch. Like, well, I got an hour and a half to kill. No, it's very good. This may actually tie in directly to the new trilogy in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
We get another, I'd say, decent time skip within one episode. I think time jumps 2-3 years, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a year, maybe 3 years. It's very hard to determine because of certain character models.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's one definitive character model that definitely changes. So, but you're like, is this a year later? Is this 2 years later? Hair is certain lengths, then now it's not. So, but the 3 episodes that we got were really, really good. We have Ian McDermott returning as the Emperor for an episode. Fantastic job on that one. A good little thing for Omega and whatnot.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to where this goes. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad I stumbled upon it.
Nice.
In the end, I ended up rewatching a little bit of Jiro Dreams of Sushi again. I couldn't find that Kojima documentary.
Well, I'm like Tafari. I'm waiting till tomorrow to actually watch the Bad Batch, because again, another Disney treasure. If you have not seen it on Disney Plus, would highly recommend it. Along with another trailer that's gonna be coming, we're gonna be talking about very soon. But want to switch fighting games for a second, because Tekken 8 did actually have some news, and the news that we wanted to share, thanks to Joe finding this on the Dark Place for us, because Twitter is the Dark Place. We did get some Tekken updates. Much like every other fighting game that's out there, Tekken will have its own Tekken shop. It'll be updated once or twice a month. It'll include classic costumes, avatars, things of that nature. Photo mode for all those that want to take embarrassing pictures of how you beat somebody using King and they couldn't break your combo up will now be available. The game quit button will be added on the main menu. DLC characters will have their own story mode. People who didn't own the character can play their own story mode as well. A little bit more information on that momentarily. The character in the main menu will be changed to the newest DLC characters. You cannot choose specific characters for now. And then they'll have the next Tekken Talk live again. The next Tekken Talk about this late March, so probably near the end of the month. So there was a lot of questions about the story mode, especially DLC characters have their own story mode. Mr. Harada himself did want to clear this up, saying rather than adding a story mode for each character, we are going to add a story mode for each of the additional characters, including Eddie, in the summertime after May, to show how they're involved in Tekken 8's main story mode, The Dark Awakens. Not just an expansion of Eddie's story when they only add Eddie, but a cohesive expansion of the other characters involved in the story, which will sometime happen between May and summer. So while the original Tekken characters will be added as DLC will be described in terms of how they relate to the main storyline. They will not be in the form of separate episodes for each character, but rather as expansion packs to the main storyline. The main storyline cannot be broken up into smaller pieces for each character. Of course, these will be offered for free as story mode expansions that can be enjoyed without having to purchase DLC characters. I'm not mad about that.
Nope.
Long story short, that's actually very nice because most other video game companies will probably charge you for those separate stories. Whether you're getting those expansions for free, it's a beautiful thing. Again, the Tekken Shop is just following what every fighting game is doing. If you're playing Street Fighter 6 or more importantly Tekken 8 right now, the whole big thing is the shop and it's the fight hub called Street Fighter. I forgot what they call it in Tekken. Joe, what was the World Hub called in Tekken 8?
The arcade lounge.
Thank you. They all have different names, but just pretty much do the same thing. But what do you guys think of what was said? I mean, as far
there's
as
one more thing Harada also talked about, and this is in Twitter, but this was a very long thing. So everybody is clamoring for certain characters to be in Tekken. I myself want Kazuma Kiryu. Everybody on the planet, myself included, wants Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Wants Tekken 7. And Harada actually gives a very in-depth thing about how we should really be going about this, as opposed to making petitions, spamming, we want this person, we want this person, we want this person. He literally goes step by step. It's like, look, here's how the industry works. Here's how Bandai works. Here's how you enforce this. We're not going to look, Bandai Corp is not going to look at your petition. Petitions have a negative connotation in the grand scheme of things, and we're not going to look at it. We also don't have time to sit on Twitter and look at everybody spamming pictures of your favorite character or pleading for your favorite character.
Right.
So there was that. So he actually goes like, you need to write in. It's like, write into these people, write into Bandai, write into Namco, Bandai Namco. Like, yes, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is how they're going to get your mailing information. Please send your letter to get well wishes to Hulk Hogan after the whole tugboat incident. But, I mean, that's the best analogy I can give.
All the analogies.
But he is saying is like, look, physical responses cannot be ignored because we have to put those letters somewhere. So it's not like an email where we receive 50,000 emails and we just hit 2 buttons and they're all deleted. Like if you want a person passionately, write in, find out how to where the offices of so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so is. By the way, it's on Namco. But make these letters out to these individuals and say, we want this. This is how we affect change. So I thought that was very wonderful that he went through that much thing to tell you this is how you affect change.
I mean, true, but I mean, petitions have always been what everybody has gone by. And at the same time, look at Helldivers 2. There is and again, for all those that haven't played Helldivers 2, if you have, Tafari has a wonderful skit, and I wish I had it uploaded because it explains Helldivers 2 to a certain extent right now. How popular it is. I've got to pull it up and find it.
No, I'm making the pun from Starship Troopers.
Oh yes, it fits with that. It fits with it.
Did I send you what's easier for you if I send you the YouTube link or?
Yeah, send me the YouTube link.
Yeah.
Joe, you don't understand how good of a pun just followed with that. That's the reason why I'm laughing.
Oh, I know. The other thing they announced over on the Tekken Talk, other than that, is they will permanently ban people plugging. And plugging is a new term that's been coming up in Tekken. It's for people
I've been hearing that. What is that?
So, plugging or pluggers is the act or the person committing the act of disabling their internet before the win-lose screen initiates to maintain their rank status.
Yeah.
If I'm botting somebody, and we actually have it on my newest video, I got plugged by somebody because they were going to get demoted. Where I still got the win because he did it too late, but they disconnected and it made my network made me disconnect from the server because I just ran through him in 3 straight matches.
Okay, I got
And
it.
if he lost him, he would have been demoted.
So in other
that
words,
is being plugged. So they want us to report them
Mhm.
either in the in-game Tekken service or with screenshots and send it over to Twitter and tagging the Tekken 8 Twitter. And then they're getting banned for life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're not messing around at zero tolerance.
They ain't playing.
But no, but here's what Tafari explains Helldivers 2 so well that we have to play this just because it makes so much sense.
Hey, whoa, slow your role play. Where you going? I was good, bro. I'm gonna go play Helldivers. Sorry, pimp. Hate to do this to you, but we at capacity. Still, who all up in the real talk? Everybody, man. They having fun. How y'all doing now? It's lit.
What about him? He's asleep. Let me take his spot.
Sorry, man. If you're in, you're in. Until you don't want to be.
Damn.
Whew. I lost track of time. I've been in here 3 days. I definitely miss work. I should probably leave. Cool. Hey, let me swap in for him. Oh, on second thought, I'm probably already fired anyway, so. Come on, man. Yes, sir. Off work.
I mean,
apparently they're putting in a 15-minute patch. I guess they didn't think the game was gonna get this popular this fast.
but that alone tells you a lot, though, and that's why I wanted to get into really quick about Helldivers 2. Outside of the fact that I got to play it over a friend's house, it's fun. It's one of those games that they did not expect it to catch fire the way it did, and it caught fire to the point to where everybody's on there. And it's like, oh crap, we didn't consider the server capacity, which I will give the CEO of that company that does do Helldivers. I will give him credit. He has been transparent. He has sat there and said, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect it to be so popular. We weren't prepared. Our bad. But the patch they put in really didn't do anything. It's basically putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound because folks have been trying to clamor to get in. So, which reason why I bring that up is because again, Helldivers 2, for all those that don't know, it's only available on Steam and PS5. Xbox players have been petitioning, which I should have brought that up. Their petition for Xbox to have Helldivers 2 has now reached 75,000 signatures. So, I'm not saying it's not a bad idea, but again, if you don't know what Helldivers 2 is, me and Joe, we actually did show the trailer for this. Oh dear God, 3 months back, maybe 3-4 months.
Incompetent Starship Troopers clone.
Yes, it is. We said exactly that. But it's fun, and it's so much fun that nobody expected it to catch fire the way it did. So now it's at a server.
Your only competition was what? Pocket Jockey, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Skull and Bones, and you're a $40 game, and you're a competent. Why would people think this wouldn't be good?
But that's a sleeper. Think about it. How many games have we ever seen? First and foremost, a $40 game. When's the last time you had a third-person shooter that was a $40 game? Besides Aliens Fireteam.
I don't know. It was only $40. I might actually go pick it up now.
Aliens Fireteam was $40. That was the last third-person shooter that was actually worth.
That was a wonderfully competent Aliens game.
Because I was going to say, because again, nobody expected it, but it is really good. So it's a sleeper game, and I'm not mad that it's a sleeper game, but at the same time, and the thing about this is also, again, I give credit to the CEO. He cares about the players. He sat there and said, well, one guy said, well, I have the money he said, I got the money to buy it right now. He says, look, the game's not going anywhere. Just when you can get it, just pay for it when you can. But the game's not going anywhere. If anything, we're improving it. So at least he's not sitting there saying, and he's not pushing his developers. He's not saying, we're not on our developers every 5 seconds asking, when is it fixed? When is it fixed? We are giving them the proper time. We are listening to them. And I love the fact that he's actually taking a lot of care and consideration in this because he knows it's a hit. At the same time, he's not trying to push it to be crap.
Didn't he also say maybe some of you can go play another game for a little bit?
Yes, as a
I
joke.
think he told people to
Okay,
stop
he
buying
did
it.
actually
For
say
like,
that.
So what do you say,
I
Tafari?
think he straight up told people, please stop buying it for like a day or two, or some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, he was joking. He's like, guys, it's still gonna be here. Just give us a little bit of time. So, but you know how the mob is. But anyway, before we get to the next thing, guys, I know we're talking about fighting games really quickly. To Iron Galaxy, we would like to have another Killer Instinct because we are in the good time where fighting games are coming back out. Street Fighter 6, great. Mortal Kombat 1, great. Tekken 8, also great, although I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Tekken 8 has been great. Joe can tell you because he's climbing the ranks in Tekken 8 because he can tell
Very
you.
slowly. I'm in what's now known as the orange barrier.
I'm going to ask you about that later. But with that being said, within this whole level of fighting games, I mean, usually we have a Soul Calibur, usually we have a Killer Instinct, or even a surprise when they bring back. But Iron Galaxy, I am begging you, it is time for another Killer Instinct, at least. Or Midway, give us a refresher on Primal Rage. Everybody love Primal Rage, or something of that nature. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Killer Instinct's overdue. That's my go-to. That's my choice in game. If I had to pick a choice game, a choice to bring back.
So we did get Killer Instinct back, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit. This is actually hear me out. This is the first time we've gotten Super Nintendo Killer Instinct back. Every other iteration of original KI has been the arcade version. This is the first time we've gotten the SNES version of KI back, which had some minor quality of life improvements over arcade KI.
That sounds more of an apology than that sounds more like an apology to me. But you're right. I mean, I'm saying from their side, not what you're saying. From what they're doing, it seems like an apology, not what you're saying. But you're right. That's actually in the that's in the direct as well. But were you gonna say, Tafari?
Oh no, I didn't say it. I'll say he's right.
But yeah, anywho, Elden Ring, for all those that still have flashbacks. I still have flashbacks about that game.
Oh, I will say, as I don't really tune into like Twitch and stuff much, but Elden Ring streams was so, like the hilarious, just the funniest shit on Twitch for like a month straight.
Yeah,
it was not as bad as people were making it out to be. I don't understand it.
It's not bad. It's just that folks, see, before I play this trailer, let me say this really quickly. Folks do not understand. Everybody in this chat and people who are watching probably understand. When we say it's a Souls-like game, it is not something you can just pick up and just hack and slash your way through. I mean, you could, but your learning curve is going to be longer.
Not really.
I mean, for certain people, the learning curve is going to be longer. So I can't say for everybody. But what I am saying that it's not just like Joe, probably in your case, you probably can pick it up and you're fine. Because
that was my first Souls game.
Say what?
That was my first Souls game.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in your case, you probably picked it up and you were fine. There were folks that saw Elden Ring and was like, oh, this looks great. It's a Souls game. For some people, it may take a little bit longer to pick up. I know for me, my first Souls game was Dark Souls. I learned very quickly. My learning curve in Dark Souls is way different than any other game I played. Does that keep you from playing Dark Souls or Blood? Or does it keep you from playing games like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Lies of P, which is also a Souls-like game? No, I loved every iteration of those games, but there is a learning curve with it. So I think a lot of people got mad just because they didn't either want to stick with it or didn't have the patience for it. For me, I loved every iteration of it. That's just me. But anyway, Elden Ring does have a new DLC out. It is called Shadow of the Erdtree, and it's interesting.
Peggy 16.
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men. There is nothing more terrifying. In that forsaken place, blood must spill. Blood of your fellows. They are true faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing side of a war.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of life?
I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Nicola is doing here.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of restless flame.
Come now, touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
I'm sold. So as you can see, guys, there, that is Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. Will be available this year, June 21st. So definitely pre-order now. Fellas, what do we think? Because I think I'm ready to go back into Elden Ring. I think I'm mentally prepared for it now. But what do we think of the DLC?
Joe, you're muted.
Joe, you're muted.
I think that there's going to be a swamp.
Yep.
They're gonna hold people hostage till Christmas again.
Yep. But again, I was like, I can't be mad. I was like, shit. That makes me want to play Elden Ring all over again with a different build.
Whatever game awards they can qualify for next year, just give it to them. They're winning.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Joe?
I wonder if that dude with the pot for a head is gonna come in and just totally own the boss since he like completely obliterated his sister and became famous.
It'd be interesting.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Say it one more time.
You know who I'm talking about, right? The one who killed like the hardest optional boss, Michaela, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so supposedly this is her brother. So I'm wondering if that same dude is just gonna like solo while wearing no armor and a pot for a head again, pot for a helmet.
I am probably so, but the disrespectful ending reminds me of her. But damn, that was when I play Elden Ring again. But I've got a backlog a mile long. But anyway, as you can see, guys, that DLC does come out. I think at this point, everybody in this room is going to be wound up playing it. But really quickly, two other things before we get to our next trailer. I guess if you're on the college football side, because I'm going to be a while. It's been a while since I played EA Sports, but it looks like as we get closer to May, that EA Sports College Football 25 will be returning. There was an issue with the college players with their likenesses and names being thrown in there, but it looks like it got solved. Players that did opt into it will receive $600 and a copy of the game. The game will be probably valued at $70. Saw that coming. But again, nothing wrong about that. College football has been missing out on the video game circuit. This was before the big issue of players getting paid while playing in college sports. So I'm glad that you got compromised. And again, we get college football back as far as from video game playing. But guys, any news on that? Anything else on that? Or just like, are we happy about it, or we just like happy for other people?
Happy for other people because I've had friends who've been wanting to do NCAA for like a decade now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can understand the career thing. Don't get me wrong. Running your career from NCAA to NFL to EA Madden, I get that. I really do. I've just never been that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never been that dedicated. And this is coming from a guy that used to play D&D, and I was dedicated, but not to the point to where you have guys playing college basketball and college football games, taking their one character and going from one game to another. That is impressive. But again, happy for all those that get to enjoy EA Sports college football once again. The other thing we got to talk about, and Joe, I guess I have to give you props for this because you were the first person to sit there and say about this. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. It seems that, well, it's getting a new title. As in, this was reported by the Hollywood Reporter that because of Mr. Major's issues, that Kang the Conqueror may be being pushed back to the backside of this, and the fact that because of everything that's going on, Marvel is switching gears. So the Avengers 5 movie may be getting a new title. Again, what they're saying is plans are afoot to either minimize or excise Kang from the MCU. Fellas, good idea or bad idea?
I mean, Loki kind of gave them a good out, so it's fair. I feel like you need to some way address the Citadel of Kang since you didn't go through the effort of showing it. Like, even if you just had the Jonathan Majors variant from Quantumania show up and just nuke the place, or maybe Deadpool accidentally gets the entire place pruned. Who knows? But I feel like they gave themselves, I don't know if it was just they were able to shoot it that fast or they just conveniently shot Loki the way they did, but they at least have a range of directions they're going in because Deadpool helped give us a nice foundation. Still need Thunderbolts and everything else to stack into some kind of shape.
Makes sense. What about you, Joe?
There's so many ways they can go with Avengers 5 now that we're not dependent on Kang. We can start forming the Young Avengers. We could do the reformation of S.H.I.E.L.D. We could start the threat of Doom and let the Avengers take on Doom. Again, I will say this every single time we bring up Doom. Let them struggle and let them win and then find out, oh, it's a Doom bot. Let Ultron come back.
Well, I mean, he's not. I mean, technically, Ultron's never dead, so that's about right. I think that. I mean, it was bound. I mean, honestly, it was bound to be coming just because they couldn't salvage. I mean, they couldn't salvage Majors because of his actions. At the same time, they didn't want to taint Kang, but they also did not want to recast him, which I think is interesting.
No, there's somebody in talks doing it, I think.
Well, they've talked, but it's not really confirmed, which kind of makes me wonder is like, is it a time issue or is it a planning issue? Just because Marvel is going back to basics as far as next year. But I'm not against it though. I still have to sit there and say I don't. Say what?
It's Coleman Domingo from Fear the Walking Dead, and he's currently in talks, potentially to be Kang or be somebody.
See, that's the thing. It's just that's why I'm thinking the fact that the reason why they dropped the Kang title is because timing. You don't actually have a solidified Kang replacement. And I think the way they're doing their storylines for next year, I think they want to make sure that either A, we can do this, or B, we have to retool it all. But I mean, it's not like he can't play a Kang variant. I mean, that's the one thing I would think that let him go. He could play a Kang variant. But I digress. Like I said, it's not a big thing. We saw it coming. It's just surprised that Disney / Marvel has really kind of drudged their feet about this. But again, we
If it were
digress.
up to me,
Mhm.
I would slowly move into the Young Avengers and have each movie, like the next Captain America movie. We've already met Isaiah. Move Isaiah, make Isaiah matter somehow in some way, shape, or form to give him like some prominence, and then we get Patriot, and then you slowly drift
I mean, well,
into the Young Avengers, which will theme into Avengers 5.
I mean, well, you have a point because we saw that at the end of Marvels. We saw that with and also spoiler alert, but let's be honest, Marvels has been out for a while. If you've seen the Marvels and saw the end of it, you saw that Kamala Khan is starting to recruit the Young Avengers, finding Kate Bishop. So, like Joe said, that's a possibility of doing that in that case of forming the Young Avengers and getting that going. But we'll see how that goes from there. But speaking of Disney, they do have a new trailer out, which I saw this and I immediately thought how cool this was. And not to quote Safari, but also during Black History Month. During Black History Month, this actually did pop up. And forgive me if I mispronounced this because I was trying to find a proper pronunciation for this one. But this is the trailer for Iwaju. And I'm gonna
I didn't hear about this. I haven't looked into it yet, but I heard it seemed interesting.
Oh, it looks nice, but here's the trailer.
From Disney Animation and the groundbreaking storytellers of Kugali.
Happy birthday, Tola. This is our team. You want stars for a pet?
It's great.
Comes a Disney Plus limited series.
What would you say if I asked you to go to the mainland?
Set in a futuristic Nigeria.
You want to see the real Lagos?
Yes, let's go.
Welcome to Lagos, Nigeria.
Tola, your daddy has done well for himself. This is how to fish in large rivers.
Otin, where's my daughter? She's your responsibility. Find her.
Be careful, oh. Some of these people are actually dangerous.
I laugh in the face of danger.
I didn't hear you laugh, oh.
Tola, I got you now.
Otin.
Go!
Actually, kind of cute. I take that back.
That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest with you that I did not expect it to be that smooth in animation, but wow. That was Iwaju. Again, if I'm mispronouncing that, I promise you I will go back and pronounce it better than that. Outside of the fact that you basically have a mechanized gecko, but I'm not complaining. This actually comes out February 28th, so not too many days from now. But fellas, what do we think?
I feel like Disney put it on the 28th because they didn't know there was 29 days this year. I feel like some executive in the room was like, "What the hell is a leap year?"
You know what?
But it looks interesting though.
You probably wouldn't be wrong, but yeah, I mean, it looks really good. And again, I'm pretty sure that the animation studios that came up with this, which I need to look into who actually did come up with this, because it was done by Kugali filmmakers. But I did not get the studio that came up with this guy, so I apologize profusely. I will make sure to have that in the future. But I mean, it looks really good. But Joe, what are you gonna say?
Before they said Legos, I thought this was the World of Wakanda TV series that they were talking about. And just thought like, oh, they're making it into an anime series. It's like, oh, Legos. Okay, well, this is something. This seems cool. I'm down. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch that. But yeah, I just thought the whole thing about a lizard, a basically able-bodied lizard. I'm not mad about that at all, but I'm pretty sure it turned to a kaiju at the end. I'm fairly
like,
certain
is
about
it
that.
the lizard show?
Mhm.
It almost looks like it's half the lizard show. Like this is like a
Yeah.
Nigerian parrot the platypus over here.
Pretty much. But again, looking forward to it. So We did
What
want to
would
actually
the
cover
equivalent of a Doofenshmirtz be?
Say what, Joe?
What would the Nigerian equivalent of a Doofenshmirtz be?
Eesh. That is a wonderful question that I don't have an answer for.
I
This
don't
is
know
not my
either.
fault. Tafari put that thought into my head when he said in Perry the Platypus.
I mean, you did kind of have Perry the Platypus vibes. I can't argue about that. You had to have me thinking about that one. But anyway, again, Nintendo Direct, because again, a lot got said there. Really quickly before I turn this over to Joe, because everything that did get announced, I'm just going to go through it rather quickly, and then we actually have a trailer from Nintendo Direct as well. Of course, this was the 21st. Of course, it was pushed back a week ago because Xbox decided to have the meeting that should have been an email. And Nintendo, out of respect, decided they were going to do it this week. However, they did say that as a Nintendo Direct, some games were being announced and released. Grounded will be out April 16th of this year. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist will come out in 2024. Arranger is to be determined. Unicorn Overlord, there's actually a demo of it on the Nintendo Store right now that you can play. Monster Hunter Stories to be determined on that one. A new Mickey game, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed, will be out this year in 2024. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance will be out June 21st of this year. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection will be out March 14th of this year. South Park Snow Day will be to be determined. Sword Art Online Fracture Daydream also to be determined. Gundam Breaker 4 also will be to be determined. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble will be out June 25th of this year. World of Goo 2 will be out May 23rd of this year. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, will be out October 10th of this year. Another Crab's Treasure will be out April 25th of this year. Penny's Big Breakaway is available now. Suka game, which is a multiplayer DLC, that's available right now. A game called Pepper Grinder, the demo is available out in Stone. The demo itself is available on Nintendo Store right now. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, that demo and game is available now. Snufkin Melody of Moon. Ooh, try to say this 5 times fast. Snufkin Melody of Moon in Valley. Oh, Moon in Valley.
Moon in Valley.
Moomin Valley. There we go. Will also be out March 7th, not too far from now. Tales of Kinsara Zao will be out April 23rd. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Sweep the Board will be out April 26th. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the Royal Edition, will be out March 15th. Contra Operation Galaga will be out March 12th. Pentiment will be out February 22nd, which means it's already released as of yesterday. Battletoads, Battle Maniacs is available now. RC Pro Am is available now. Snake Rattle and Roll is available now. Killer Instinct, Blast Corps, both are available now. And Endless Ocean Luminous will be out May the 2nd. Now, as Joe talked about, we did talk about Killer Instinct, that the games at the bottom, RC Pro-Am, Snake Rattle and Roll, Killer Instinct, Blast Corps, they were all produced by Rareware. And because of that, Rareware has been released out on the Switch, which means that you can play these games updated. I think you said they were updated in some form of fact, Joe?
Well, I'm just saying that the Super Nintendo version was probably the better version of KI. Because it came out on arcade, then it hit Super Nintendo. Don't quote me on that one, but I believe that is the case.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed this Direct. I know you didn't have a lot of fun with it, but we had a lot of really nice stuff out. The Big Break was basically what Battle in Wonderworld should have been.
Well, I just chalked it up to maybe the games. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the game. No, I was just saying the games that were released, and I had to say it back because I did at first say this Direct was disappointing, but at the same time, I have to realize I am not the target demographic for a lot of these games. For a lot of these games, they may appeal to other people, but they're not maybe appeal to myself. So I need to take that back and saying that Nintendo Direct wasn't disappointing. It was just that I was expecting more to things that I would like to see. So let me definitely stress that back. There are some things, a lot of those things were available for other people to enjoy. I just may have not been the target demographic is what I should have said. But what are you going to say, Joe?
I'm saying like Unicorn Overlord is just Tactics Ogre. Like it's a straight up Tactics Ogre. What really surprised me is that we're getting Grounded on the Switch, which good luck running that because that thing. I mean, I'm just gonna call spade a spade. It looked like trash. Like it visually looked like trash. I thought it'd be Hi-Fi Rush, but Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation 5 and is actually getting a physical release via limited run. Big bonus to the Star Wars fans because we get classic Battlefront with new maps and characters. That just made my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Penny's Big Break and Pepper Grinder both look super fun. And again, I will reiterate, Penny's Big Break is definitely what Balan Wonderworld should have been. Oof. And Japan got some other stuff too. Japan got Mother 3, which makes everybody in the American mad because we want Mother 3. But guys, there's so many things wrong with Mother 3 that for multiple reasons that game cannot be released in America for good conscience, good ethical reasons.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
There are fan translations. You can go get that, go play it fan translated, but there are some music rights. There are some old school transphobic jokes. There is some underage stuff that is very inappropriate in Mother 3. So that is why we will never see Mother 3 unless you want a heavily censored game to come out over here.
Either that or you got to import, but then again, you need a region set system. But
no, you don't. Switch is a region 3.
Are they really?
Yeah, I'm playing. I got 3 Japanese games on my Switch.
Oh,
no problem.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I got Kamen Rider Climax Scramble. We looked at that one Japanese game I got, which is the successor to Goemon, and I got a trading card game entirely in Japanese. It is very hard to play when your Japanese is very limited, but I make do. I'm stuck in a halfway point because my deck is not good, but
I have a modded GameCube and I play Battle Stadium DON, but some of the things you have to do is like you have to beat missions. So I have to pull up like this page that like translated what each mission means and try my best to guess which one it is, because it only flashes for like half a second and you can't pause it. Right. So it's interesting, but it's like,
the trick to getting import games is knowing what your content is. So I get a Kamen Rider game. My whole goal is to do the rider kick and blow up the monster. I get a Gundam game. I either get to blow up a Zaku or I get to blow up a Gundam. I get a Yakuza game from Japan. I beat people until it tells me go to this area of the map. Do I know what the story is? No, but I make my way there and win.
Nice. Okay, but
we actually also have a trailer from the Japanese Direct.
Yep, got it ready. Do you want to tell people about it? Or you want me to go ahead and run it?
We got the news thing. We'll run the trailer, then we got the news thing because it's easier to describe.
Okay. All right, works for me. Here we go.
This plays in the Kingdom Hearts Safari, so you'll be happy.
The intro looks like it.
Tokyo Shibuya。この世界では強大な力を持つ魔法使いが人々から恐れられていた。魔法使いの桐住マリンは抑圧された日常から自由を求めて渋谷を訪れる。そして渋谷の治安を守る取締官の西島サリ。自身も魔法使いでありながら正義を信じて力を振るう。立場が異なる二人が出会うとき、物語は動き出す。
俺は俺のためにしか戦わない。
何と言われようと正しいと思ったことをするだけです。
そして世界に変革をもたらす闇が渋谷に訪れる。レガティスは7月25日発売。
Okay, so Redentis is the name of the game, and if I've read this right, it looks like it comes out July 25th of this year. But as Joe said, we do actually have a description of this. So it looks like from what it says, and forgive me guys, I'm reading as I'm going along here. Renantis is set in a modern Shibuya Tokyo, combines reality with magic. The game features two protagonists fighting for competing desires. Marin Kazumi is a magician who has obtained unconstrained power and yearns for freedom, while Sari Najishima is an overseer of magicians and desires order. Players can switch between suppression mode and liberation mode. Suppression mode allows the character to conceal their identity and explore the city, as well as forces will rush to the scene if their magic status is revealed. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, my curiosity, and I see we have a whole lot of love for Shibuya lately because this game is there. That's what Kingdom Hearts drops off and left us all confused. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, well that's cool though. I'm also reading this. The game scenario is written by those that did Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, and more, and music composed by the same guys that did Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15, and more. Okay, I kind of dig that. I'm probably gonna need the English translation, but I dig that. But Joe, anything you want to add to that? Oh, you muted, Joe. Joe, you muted.
So a lot of people are. I'm not. No, I am.
No, you're fine now. No, you're good. You're fine now.
We're good.
Okay. This is why you need to control the muting and unmuting. I'll just forget to unmute myself every time. You have master control.
Yes, that's true. But we're gonna.
So anyway, so a lot of people are comparing this to the video game of Kingdom Hearts, the Verum Rectus or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Verum Rex, yeah. With
yeah.
I'm getting fucking dog walked by Dylan Sprouse, Zach and Cody. Hey, Chris.
Hey, there he is.
Apparently, the trailer was so moving it made Chris cry.
Yeah, I don't even. I was in the middle of the episode 7 of Avatar, so I said, "Let me go in here, make sure everything's."
So yeah, so a lot of people are saying it has that kind of a Kingdom Hearts vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably import it. I don't know if it's ever going to get an English release. The producer is Furyu, and they are notorious for not releasing their games to America. The point where Japanese publishers had to literally bend over backward to get them to put anything out. The only thing that they put out consistently is the Cardfight Vanguard video games, and even then, you have to continuously badger Bushiroad to make Bushiroad poke Furyu. It's like, release a new DLC. They won't shut up.
Yeah.
So your better bet may be to just import now that you guys know that switchers are not region locked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now that I know that, you're exactly right. I did not know that at all. But good to know. But again, like I said, for the direct itself, it did have, for me, like I said, it wasn't much of a target direct for me. But after you show that trailer, explain a little bit more, I'm more into that game. But Chris, I did want to get back to you because since you saw Avatar, we did kind of cover that a little bit earlier in the show. Really quickly, did you think Netflix got it right, or do you think we should be concerned?
I'm not concerned. I get that. I get when you have to take something from one medium to another. There's certain aspects that either won't translate well, or you don't have the time, or there's time constraints to tell the story. Hence, why people were kind of up in arms a little bit about One Piece. And I'm like, well, you got to think this is a long story that's being told. Yeah. Now, mind you, Avatar doesn't have as nearly as long as a story, but it's a lot of in-depth in there. So I think they're okay. And them trying to come for Princess Yue, and I'm like, you mean the actual Native American girl, like Amber Myth Thunder? And I'm like, we had a problem with Shyamalan Ding Dong's version because they whitewashed the whole thing. This we don't get that. So relax.
Right.
It's not going to be page for page, quote for quote, the story.
Yeah. That's and if you since you say you saw episode 7, if you were to give it a grading scale, what would you give it on 1 to 10?
I give it a 7.5 or maybe an 8.
Okay,
so what they got so far. So
we all seem to be all in the same ballpark.
I gave it a little bit lower because I felt like they took away a character's story arc for the sake of being more politically wicked.
Oh yeah, with Soka.
Because I feel like Yeah, I feel like Sokka needs to be misogynistic because that is literally his story arc against across all the books is him learning to better and broaden himself as he goes along. Like him being not misogynistic, and he still is a little bit, but not to the degree that he was in the show. Kind of lessens the Kyoshi Island Warriors because that was the whole start of his arc of bettering himself. It's like, oh, these women do know what they're doing. They are warriors. I need to rethink a lot of things.
Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
point.
they still kept some of his self-involved behavior.
Yes.
You know, so and I get it. You know, they want to play it safe, and okay, I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
It's not like I can get to sit there and go, it's like, but what about the Great Divide?
I will say this. I will say this. Uncle Iroh is still that dude. I don't no matter what the median is, I'm like, he's still that dude. He's still that dude.
Fair point. But no, I just want to get you that. And also, we did cover Borderlands as well. I know you were kind of waiting to do that for next week, but I got to ask, what'd you think?
This goes back to that conversation we have about video games being transferred over to any kind of live action, which is why Super Mario Brothers works pretty well because they went straight animated. Just certain things you just have to do that way.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
The vibe I'm getting, like just from the trailer alone, was giving straight the Suicide Squad / Guardians of the Galaxy. It was giving that vibe, especially with the music selection they used. I'm putting my money on Ariana Greenblatt being the standout character in this one because you know, baby Gamora, baby Ahsoka. Why not?
Yes, we all came to that same conclusion. That was a James Gunn-esque trailer because we're so used to James Gunn trailers that almost it would be if it was not his touch, you would think that it is. So
ask him, did you study under James? Did you?
Now we'll ask Chris this because I was actually very harsh on this. I am very cautious on this because this screams to me original Suicide Squad, where the trailer can be very misleading. And I do not agree with Kevin Hart being Roland for the fact of how he acts in this trailer. To me, in the game, Roland is the straight man in the mad world.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Hart is going to be the madman in the mad world.
Trying to play straight.
Like, I don't see him playing it straight. I don't see, and that's why I don't dislike Kevin Hart. I dislike Kevin Hart in this role because I don't think he's going to be able to play it straight. I think he's going to be Kevin Hart with a really, really big gun.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm saying I want the actor taller. I just want someone who's going to be the continuous straight man in a group of essentially Marx Brothers.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that. I don't disagree with that. You know, it's knowing that character Roland and knowing that he is there's no comedic about him. There's no comedy in it, and I don't.
He's Captain America. He is straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so it's just kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm just like, I'm not going to trash it, but what are we doing? You know, what are you exactly are you changing here?
But that's the thing, though. But again, like I was saying, I get that idea, but that's why I'm like, we all seem to be in the same area. Like, it's kind of wait and see. I'm more of like, I'm ready to see it. So it seems like we're all in the same area of just, we hope it's going to be good. It's just,
it's too soon. It's too early to tell. And as the weeks go on, we'll probably get a better feeling for it, a better gauge on it as they, you know, release another trailer, because they'll release like 2 more trailers, maybe a behind the scenes thing. So as it gets closer to release, we'll get a little more info. But it's just this video game to live action thing it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope, and you have to get it.
The other thing I was very curious
right.
about.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Yeah. You have to get it right.
The other thing I was very curious about. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh no. I was just saying they have to get it right because it's so hard to transfer over. Like you hit the mark with Mario Brothers. You hit the mark with Sonic. But that was because people had to get in behind about it. So but once it was done, we were just like, okay, we're fine now. But
I know a lot. But speaking of a lot, though, because I know we usually.
I do have one weird question on this.
Go for it.
Why are we using ELO as opposed to Cage the Elephant? Like, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is the Borderlands like national anthem. Why are we using ELO?
Maybe more money wise.
It's Cage the Elephant. I don't think it's a money thing.
It might be.
I don't know
clearance.
because
It might be clearance. Might not even be money. It might be clearance.
I gotta say the way I would look at it. I mean, look at Cult of Personality and how much did Tony Khan have to pay every time CM Punk wanted that intro? And that was an asshole amount of money for one song.
Yeah.
But but again, it could be something else. It might not be money. But I did want to point this other thing out before we get on to our trailers and to our comics. Although this is comic related, but I just want to tick off incels today. I want to tick off you basement.
Don't we all?
Yes, we do. But
are we talking more X-Men?
Yes, the actual X-Men issue itself, sir. As Davey Montel would say, we are going to tick off the basement versions, mom's basement versions today, because the next issue of the Marvel's Voices Pride issue looks a little something like this. And again, they are doing the untold wedding of Mystique and Destiny. For all those that have not been paying to Marvel Comics lately, whether you've read The Fall of X, Into the House of X, and The Rise of X, they are going to do the story of basically their wedding. And again, we here at Get Bit, we don't discriminate. You love who you love. You are. At this point, I just want to show this off because there's a certain select group of people out there, those toxic gatekeepers, those people who will say "not my X-Men," even though they watched X-Men '97 and still said "not my X-Men." Will sit there and see this and go, "No, this is not." And I'm like, first and foremost, you haven't read an X-Men comic if you didn't see this coming. I'm just gonna be honest about that. If you have not read any X-Men comic running, this should not be a surprise. Number one. Number two, why not? It fits well with Pride Month. So again,
they did this a couple years ago when it was North Star.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again,
they're still married.
Exactly. But yeah, I just want to show this because again, it's gonna be they've already started on the dark place, although it was not a lot on Twitter. Oh, I'm not picking this up. Oh, X-Men is woke. And that's the one thing I'm gonna before we get to our trailers, before we get to our last few trailers.
X-Men's been woke since 1963.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just finished the first season. I'm like, we have whole Holocaust flashbacks in the fourth.
Seriously.
Okay, look, here's the one thing I will give them. If you want your version of X-Men, I will give you a freebie to anybody that dislikes this. If you want the version of X-Men, which you think is what X-Men is, you are looking for the Rob Liefeld version of X-Force.
Yeah.
Go read that.
Or you're hoping
everything else.
I was gonna say, you're hoping for your first issue of Friends of Humanity.
I mean, it's really X-Force. Rob Liefeld X-Force is very close to that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just messing with you. You are right, but I'm messing with you.
I mean, have you seen what they put Boom Boom in those old 90s comics?
Yep.
Don't watch that. Everything else X-related has been woke and will always be woke since 1963. The whole point of the X-Men was to talk about racial diversity and acceptance. I don't know how clearer I can make that for anybody.
Oh,
It can be a power as simple as putting a little light on your finger to being, unfortunately, Beak from the X-Men, where you're just a walking chicken man.
I'm just laughing about the fact that they looked
such a
at
weird
Morph.
character.
They looked at Morph and said Morph can be non-binary. How? What do you mean how? His ability is he can. You know what?
His abilities can shapeshift, and much like Mystique, but both Mystique and Morph, and this is where that's tricky. They're both technically non-binary, but they both choose a body type that suits them well, which is whatever.
What is so crazy about that is just that it's just the whole idea of just not my X-Men. I'm like, guys, y'all are really missing the point of what X-Men is about. And the fact that the fact of that Pride cover is going to tick them off, but it should tick them off, rightfully so. And I'm not going to feel bad about it, honestly.
I mean, if they were born in the year 2000, it's true that this is not their X-Men. X-Men Evolution is their X-Men, which also teaches them about racial diversity.
In the same breath,
it also teaches them that maybe you need a hot goth girlfriend.
In the same breath, just last year we got Bishop War College.
Right.
So I mean, like,
the all black.
There is an argument they can stand on. There is not one argument they can stand on that is like, this is not my X-Men.
The future where the alternate future where all the X-Men are black and the backlash from that, just I'm like, y'all will just not be pleased.
My favorite thing from that was still it's a multiversal concept that Storm is black no matter what.
Yes. She's a Nexus being.
I think X-Men Evolution was the last time.
That Emma was appalled that she was white in another universe.
Dang, what do you say, Tafari?
So I think X-Men. I was rewatching the other day. I think X-Men Evolution is the last time I saw a white Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, actually, there's a comic event coming up where somebody is looking for classic Nick Fury. I think that's getting ready to come up soon.
Nick's he's still out. He's still out there. Last I actually seen him was in the issues of Fantastic Four before the newest arc there.
There was a Nick Fury special where Black Nick Fury was looking for his dad on the moon, I think.
Yeah, we covered that. The Man on the Wall.
Fury?
Yeah, that's the one we covered.
Yeah.
So he's still out there. He's like,
somewhere.
Oh, my kid's got
somewhere.
it. I'm handling some other stuff. My kid's got it.
It's like a story arc in like the previews where like they're going to start up a story arc where they're looking for classic Nick Fury for some reason.
Yeah.
But no, that is true. Also, I think we're getting Christopher Daniel Barnes to come back as Spider-Man in X-Men 97.
I mean,
that's the first thing I asked. Who else can come back from that 90s cartoon world?
If anybody else can show up to cuss Madam Web out again, and it would be him.
It really would be. All right, so we just got 3 more trailers before we get to our comic polls, and we got to ask Chris about Black Panther. We will be asking about
Black Panther. We put it in there for you.
Yeah, so we got to ask you about that. But anyway, a couple of last trailers we do got. One is the last game that we're showing called Netcode Warriors that will be available on Steam, and it does kind of remind me of FNF, but what are you guys' opinions on it? But here's the trailer.
So you want to fight, huh?
okay.
Was this from the direct too, or this was something separate?
This is something separate because I was going to point out one thing because this is my first time watching this trailer. Let me go back. So with Killmonger, we just cannot escape this haircut, can't we?
No.
Between me and Safari with locks, I'm like, are we ever going to escape the Killmonger haircut? Just seriously. But no,
women seen that and they lost their mind, and every developer
Chris, can
after
I
that
ask you to do
said,
something?
What's that?
When you eventually get Michael B. Jordan on the show on Bird's Eye View, can you have him make a formal apology for the Killmonger haircut?
It might have been his idea. I don't know.
It might have been his idea because he's a Vegeta fan. He might have went against it.
So I actually stumbled upon this from listening to the fighting game podcast Triple KO with Maximilian Dude and whatnot. Apparently Justin Wong is also maybe involved with it.
My bad. Sorry.
Some way, shape, or form. Nah, you're good. And it's just like an arena-based anime style fighter with netcode. So kind of like a Dragon Ball Z, but with original characters and actually good netcode. So I was like, I'll look it up and toss it.
It reminds me of Digimon and Dragon Ball Fighters had a baby.
Yes.
That's what the eyes and that's what the helmet and the eyes was giving me.
Yeah.
No, that actually was confirmed. The character designers worked on Digimon.
Okay, because I was
that makes sense. Yeah, that lines up.
I should have had them in the partner direct because I would have fit perfectly.
You know that I leave that alone. I like Nintendo in case Nintendo ever decides to endorse the show.
When they said Nintendo Direct Partnership Edition or whatever the weird ass type, I kind of realized, okay, these are people that aren't exclusive, but we're letting them do their own.
Yeah,
they're doing what E3 should have done to stay alive. Just hey, these are games you like on other consoles, but you can also play on Nintendo. But some of them run like a jet engine, so good luck. But I was hyped for Battlefront coming back, especially because we're getting all the DLC now.
Yeah. Cool. So aside from that, Go Loser Ranger. Joe, do you want to remind people of what this show's about before I play the trailer?
Why do I know that?
Okay.
It is the best.
So Go Loser Ranger is a manga that is currently out where the synopsis is this universe's Super Sentai has defeated the evil organization, but they have become addicted to the fame and power they have gained from it. So they are actually funding the evil organization themselves to continue to keep themselves in the spotlight. And one of the henchmen is just like, oh, I got to kill these guys. I've had enough of this.
If you thought that was crazy, here's a trailer.
お前たちのことは信頼しているんだ。10年以上苦楽を共にした。
Oh, right.
しかし、今回のような悲しい出来事が二度と起こらないよう対策を取らせてもらうことにした。
つうわけで、昨日裏切ったやつ出てきやがれ。
マンネリは一番危惧すべき問題だよ。
レッド、こんな展開はどうだろうか。
しゃ、どうだ、怪人め。
ここ最近ずっとただの戦闘員を倒して終わりだわ。それこそマンネリじゃないかしら。
我ら友人戦隊ドラゴンキーパー。恒例となった日曜決戦には多くの観客が押し寄せ、今からワクワクが止まりません。
開戦から13年、
友人戦隊ドラゴンキーパー VS 悪の怪人軍団。
正義の味方は今日も悪を倒し世界の平和を守っていた。というのは茶番劇。
もうおしまいだー。ネタ切れだネタ切れ。怪人ぶっ飛ばせ。お疲れ。抵抗しない。言う通りにする。
いい加減割り切ろうぜ。黙ってやられる役はもうごめんだ。
やってやろうぜ。
手を組もう。私と君で。
社会貢献こそが大戦隊の礎です。
たまにはあってもよくないか。怪人が勝つ展開。
正義と悪は誰が決めた?
So all I gotta sit there and say is that as I was watching this, I just realized something. This is just the boys in Power Ranger form.
Basically.
I just realized that. All you're missing is a Homelander, but I'll still watch it. It looks like, and again, if I get this wrong, I apologize. It's something on the 28th. I can see that much. I don't actually see a month. Joe, do you see anything that stands out to you? And you're muted. You're still muted.
Can you hit the button for him?
He's unmuted now. Try it now, Joe.
I think it's April, but I could be wrong. But I think this is part of the spring 2024 lineup.
Gotcha. Okay, because I was looking because I see that and I see 28th, but I'm like, my Japanese is not that good.
Tokyo Broadcasting something 28.
Yeah, it's like
I can't read kanji.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna try. Let's just say it comes out on 28th sometime. But again, it's like The Boys meets Power Rangers. I'm looking forward to it. And the fact of the matter is just that I'm pretty sure it's gonna be English sub to this, but I think we're all in agreement that we're gonna be watching this.
Yeah. Because the premise is
Power
so cool.
Rangers? Is this an official Rangers tie-in, or is it just like comical? Like
no, this is its own thing.
Yeah, it's own thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I can show it the newest trailer for the new Sentai, Boon Boonger.
Oh, Nightmare Fuel.
No, this one actually has the actors.
Oh, okay, so not Nightmare Fuel. Okay, it was like the other one is definitely Nightmare Fuel, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be cool. And of course, as it gets closer to coming out, we're definitely going to get some more information on that. The last trailer that I have, guys, again, I give Joe credit for this one because I forgot all about this fighting game. Because some games, let me put it this way, some games don't really become fighting games. They're kind of like what concept companies do. They'll put out a concept. Hope it gets picked up by a company. Some company decides to distribute it, and you get a video game. Happened for Black Myth Wukong. For the longest time, was done by a company called Game Science, but Game Science finally did get a sponsor, and therefore we're getting the Monkey King very soon. I cannot wait to play that game. That being said, Project L is the same way, as that is now called 2XKO. And here's the trailer for it.
Don't look away. Are we hurting each other for sports?
Face the wind. Stand with me. We call the week. Starting now.
What? Replay! Time to throw down. About time.
So pretty much that's the teaser for it. Project L is now called 2XKO. It is a 2-on-2 cooperative fighting game. But as you can see, guys, more information is coming along as it's developing. Joe, I know me and you have seen it just because we've been following it since I want to say Summer of Games. Since we saw it. But it looks like, just like Black Myth Wukong, it's starting to go this whole line that we actually might see get distributed out. Because like I said at the beginning of this, I'm wanting more fighting games. But at the same time, it's unique because it's, as far as how it looks, like you got the whole 3D environment, but you still have 2D side scrolling. It's very detailed. It's fluid. It doesn't like it's going to be hiccuped or anything, but I'm all for it. But yeah, guys, what do you think?
I like the art style.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm definitely like
black dude with the face paint at the end. That design looked very familiar, like I've seen it somewhere.
Supposedly it was from the same guys that did Demon Slayer. So the same guys. So some of the developers that are behind 2XKO are also the same guys that are behind Demon Slayer and Naruto Storm.
Okay.
So that would explain a little bit of why it looks so familiar. It's because those same developers are there. But anyway, before we get to our comics, Joe wanted me to play this because I'm sorry. To me, this is Nightmare Fuel, but you guys let me know what you think. This is the late. Was this the latest? Is this the latest Power Rangers installment?
So, I will spoil some things right now. King Ghidorah is getting ready to end. This is this year's Super Sentai. This is next month. When Boonja is next month. If you are not watching King Ghidorah, the last 3 episodes is Endgame. It is literally Endgame. With the final fight scene where everybody and literally their dead parents come back to fight a galactic insect god. This is Boon Boonja. We're gonna have fun with Boon Boonja. They have wheels on their face and their cars go fast.
Nightmare Fuel. Anyway, here it is.
Sa, 爆上げるぜ。頼まれたものは何があろうが絶対に届ける。それが届け屋だ。任せろ。最短ルートを設定する。
仕事取ってきた。届け屋の。
さまざまな星を襲う宇宙マフィア。走るやん。もっとギャーギャー叫び。
この星はハシリアンの縄張りよ。何がどうなったんだ。
自らの意志で進むべき道を決め、ハシリアンと戦う。
化け物とタイヤ人間。お困りのようだね。
今、爆上げなミッションが始まる。
ブンブンジャオ。俺とブンブンの夢につながってる。
ブンブンジャオ。可能性は無限大。信じないよ。爆上げろ。
気分ブンブンぶん回せ爆上げ戦隊。3月3日日曜午前9時30分スタート。カミングブーン。
こっちもは済んだ。よし。カレーができたよ。お疲れ。食べる。
I'm sorry. Do you really want to trust an AI to cook your soup, to cook curry? You trust it. You trust that. You trust that to cook curry. I'm sorry. I'm making too big of a deal out of this. But that is Boom Butcher. I'm sorry. The face is the reason why I give Joe a hard time about this. The face, there's not a face. It is literally
that mask is bothering me.
Yeah,
I would prefer the wheel design be on the side of their helmets.
Yeah,
the rims could at least spin or something.
Yeah,
I give Joe a hard time just because I'm like, dude, something about not seeing a face as it moves is too much mannequin for me. It's like
I've actually been talking to the Black Ranger. He's actually very nice person and more than happy to answer questions and whatnot. So, I mean, I just flat out asked him, like, hey, between the other, since you're a police officer in this Sentai, which one is your character more like? Pat Red or Deca Red. It's like I'm a little bit of both, but probably leaning more towards Akaji Banban. Deca Red from the old Deca Ranger series. Like, so what else can you expect? It's like he actually just flat out says like we're going to be getting all 3 car Sentais, or we're going to try.
Nice.
So Turbo Ranger, Car Ranger, and Go Onger may make an appearance in some way, shape, or form throughout the series.
Cool. Well, as far as trailers go, guys, that's pretty much what we have. Before we get to our comic pulls, because again, we do want to bring. Thankfully, Chris is on because we did want to save Black Panther because Ultimate Black Panther did release. Issue 1 did release. Now I'm almost certain issue 2 is not too far off from now, as he is holding it. And he's holding issue 1 for all the world to see. But we'll
Shout out to Carolyn Johns. They knew exactly before I even asked.
But we are definitely going to ask him about his opinion on that. As well as Joe's actually getting up the comic pulls, guys, we do always want to let you know that, of course, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic City. You can definitely find them in Nashville, Tennessee, and also Clarksville, Tennessee. The go-to place for Nashville for the last 6 years for comic books, for mangas, for anime, for collectibles, pretty much anything under the sun in the world of nerddom, you can definitely find there. You can also go to their website at rickscomiccity.com to where you can also do the same things and make purchases. Again, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. Let them know that Get Bit Podcast sent you. It doesn't get you any discounts, but again, you see our handsome mugs on their televisions. On their television, you go in there. They show us love because we want to show them love. At the same time, guys, if you're not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. We cannot stress this enough. Yes, it is fun going to FYE. Yes, it's fun going to Barnes & Noble. Yes, it's fun going to Amazon. But there's something about going to your local comic book stores, your local libraries, to where you can actually find the comic books, magazines, things that you love. And especially kids, as Joe is holding up the one thing we always want to say here on Get Bit, read the banned books. Not to get too much into it, guys, but they are pretty much for that certain powers that be are preventing you from actually reading certain books. So definitely check them out. Read the banned books because there's something in there that they definitely don't want you to know that you really should know. So again, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic Book City. If you are not, support your local comic books, support your local libraries. They are the last places you can actually get comic books and things of that nature, and you're certainly going to miss them when they're gone. That being said, Joe, I do see that you have your things up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
All right. I actually have to look at it. I keep forgetting that. So first off, we got Sandman number 5. This is written by Robert Venditti, art by Riley Rossmo, and colors by Ivan Posina. I can never know how to pronounce that poor person's name. We are just picking up where we left off. What up?
No, I said close enough. Keep going.
Oh, I thought you said hold up.
No, I said close enough. No, I said close enough. We have got to work on this audio on this thing. No, go ahead.
We're just working, continuing the story with Wesley. He fended off an attempted murder through an accidental means, accidentally killing the fugitive, and now sneaking into a military base camp to get a corrupt military official and exposing him, while another murder takes foot as we find out who the real Fog is.
Right.
That's pretty much the crux of the story, but great artwork. More Sandman is always a good thing. Sneaking into an army base during World War I era or World War II era is no small feat, because they are on the lookout for just about everything. But I dug it.
Oh no, it was good. It was a good issue. Like I said, you did kind of call it that the Fog of War, the guy that did die in the previous episode, wasn't him. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna do a kind of a Red Hood early type of storyline to it, but still a good issue.
Yep. Moving on over, we have Green Lantern number 8. This is written by Jeremy Adams with art by Amansi Nalapan and colors by Roman Feraldo Jr. This is actually not a bad issue in the grand scheme of things. This sets up a lot of stuff. Hal cannot get off Earth. Razor is letting him know that the blue power battery's been destroyed. We get the New United Corps of Lanterns have come to Earth to track down Razor, as he's one of the last remaining Blue Lanterns. We learned that the United Federation of Space's Lantern Corps has the ability to become any spectrum. So I'm wondering if this is going to tie into somehow regaining the White Lantern status somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah, this was not a bad Green Lantern issue by any stretch of the imagination.
But
of course, naturally, we get a will they, won't they with Carol, which I do not care about because we know the answer to that.
But they got to how he's able to switch from green to yellow, which is something that's never really been done without a ring.
Yeah, they've only hinted that with Sinestro, where like his ring was yellow, then became a Red Lantern's ring, which technically after he lost, he shouldn't have been able to survive. But
right.
What's a little continuity hiccup here and there if we can't continue the story?
True, but they had to explain it. They had to hopefully explain it better. But anyway, that's just my little gripe from it.
Yeah. We also get a backup story involving the best Green Lantern, which is Kyle Rayner. He is sitting there going over a small recap of an early exploit of his career as he sits there on an asteroid with a fully rendered version of his first girlfriend, Alex. Just needs somebody to talk to as he's trying to plot out what exactly he plans to do in the future going forward. And then newest Green Lantern soldier Mullins finds like, something stinks in Denmark. We got to go.
Pretty much. Although the whole Susano technique, I'm just putting that out there. Like, really? The whole fight.
Yeah, what are you talking about? He was pulling this before Susano was even thought about.
I'd argue. Debatable, but go ahead.
How is it debatable since he was made in 94 and Naruto was nowhere close to that?
True, but Samurai Susano is just enough to avoid the lawyers. Just enough.
I guess.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at
Nightwing. I mean, I guess just because Giant Samurai light projection, but still Kyle did it first before Sasuke ever broke it out. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that. Fair enough.
I have 30 years of Green Lantern. We can debate.
Well, you also hate Hal, so
yeah. But I have backup and evidence for the reason of hating Hal.
You do. You have a. You know what? I will say this before we move on to the next issue. You have a justified reason for hating Hal. Outside of anybody else, you do have a justified reason.
There's no point in bringing him back if we've already established a new generation of Lanterns. It's why I'm so glad Barry's gone. I don't dislike Barry. It's just let the next generation take over.
Yeah, fair enough. But let's be honest. I mean, they love rehashing old heroes back. But I'm sorry. But go ahead.
No. Next issue we got is Nightwing number 111. This is the final arc, and we do have confirmation that Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo and the current artist will be leaving the book after this one. So hopefully, I wonder if that means I'm going to be. We'll see who picks up Nightwing after Tom Taylor, because depending on who it is, I may not be reading Nightwing after this because they will probably undo everything, and that will make me sad.
The way they're talking, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Look, as long as it's not Bendis, I may still be on the book.
It's got to be Bendis.
So we get Tom Taylor is writer, Sam Bissari is artist, Vincentini Cifuentes is doing inks for pages 6, 7, 9, and 22. Adriano Lucas is also doing colors. Basically, we think Heartless has come to Gotham, and we learned that it's a copycat. Meanwhile, Dick is still dealing with some bizarre PTSD that will not let him be an acrobat anymore. And we just get some nice fun times in Gotham with Dick and Bruce, which is something we don't get to see too often anymore.
Yeah, Batman's getting up in age. He's starting to have those fatherly ties, which I did love the fact of how they started with that. It's like, I never really did raise you properly. Alfred kind of gave the side eye, like, who raised who? The whole side eye gave to
he was like, bitch, what?
No, my other favorite thing was where the cop
the
was,
room.
or it's either the cop and the mayor looks back and is like, why are you going in? It's like, oh no. We let Nightwing handle this. I scare children.
Well, when you're aware of your own intimidation, he's like, yeah, I'm not suited for this. Send in a friendlier face because yeah, I'm Batman. He's not going to talk to me.
Yep. This was a good issue. I'm sad to see Tom Taylor go.
Hello, Bendis.
God, I hope not. Next up, we get Wonder Woman, written by Tom King with art by Dan Semper. So Colonel Steele and the King of the United States of America launched the anti-Wonder Woman squad. So Diana, and I did not add the picture of the actual credits, but I did add they did do the Linda Carter spin transformation in this book.
Yeah.
I love that to death. I could not put where the credits were because that's a giant spoiler in the book of who's fighting, but she fights everybody. There's a psychic attack that's amplified by Engelman and Dr. Psycho. She fights Giganta. She fights Silver Swan. She fights Grail. And the thing that stood out to me the most is Diana knows every single one of these people's names, like actual names. She doesn't call them by their costume names or their super names or their villain names. She knows everybody on a first name basis.
Yeah.
That's what kind of person Diana is.
But she's also into a lot of people on the first
and
name
it's
basis.
just that. Well, why do you think she doesn't have a long list of villains? Diana puts them in the ground because she knows, oh, you're going to be a problem later.
She's smart. She's smart about her business.
Yeah, she doesn't have a rogues gallery. She just has a list. she has a win-loss column. No,
she doesn't have a rogues gallery, but she does have a frenemies list.
True, but I mean, this whole issue was really fight after fight after fight. At the same time, I'm laughing that a lot of people got mad that, what do you mean Grail can beat Wonder Woman? No. The daughter of Darkseid cannot beat a god. I mean, I'm not sure what hope you had in that situation, but I'm just like, you do understand Diana is a god at this point.
Yeah, she's a full-on god at this point.
Yeah, she's like, it's like you're fighting Storm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Storm doesn't have a lot of losses, if any.
No.
Also, the backup was hilarious. I too need someone to check if Darkseid and Math is in my closet before I go to sleep.
Damn. Yeah,
I also need to know what Math looks like. No, the whole backup issue was Connor and Damian trying to put on a 6-year-old Lizzie, daughter of Wonder Woman, to sleep, and she's like, but Darkseid's in my closet in Math.
It's still funny. I'm sorry, it's still funny. Whoever thought of the idea of putting them together for doing those short stories, that was actually brilliant to do as a backup, as a companion story. But I digress. I digress.
They are just big brothers. They are just big brothers to Lizzie. That's all they are.
Pretty much. And
you can very clearly see that Damian has middle child syndrome.
Oh yeah. The whole, at least
Damian can't catch a break.
At least I'm the blood child. Ooh. Just ooh. It didn't help. It didn't help that Dick was like, ooh, that was ooh. Did she really have to say that? Damn. But no, it was a good issue.
Moving on over to Marvel, we got Miles Morales number 16. This is a gang war tie-in, but as we all know, all four of us, if it's not Amazing Spider-Man, chances are it's gonna be good.
Because of a certain artist.
Oh no, I mean just in general. Artist is aside.
it's kind of bad over there.
Yeah,
it's so convoluted. I'm just like, Jesus, Pete. I'm saying,
I'm telling you, it's like there's an underlying contract. If you're going to write for Spider-Man, you must put him through turmoil. If you're going to draw Spider-Man, you must put him through turmoil. It's like it's an
Oh
unwritten
no.
rule.
That's why I
No,
can't
it's
wait for that new Spider-Man book to come out, where it's the team up of my Spider-Man, where it's
Mhm.
Greg Weisman of Gargoyles and Young Justice, and Bruno Redondo's doing the art. I can't wait for that book. That's gonna be so much fun. But
Okay.
no, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 16. This is written by Cody Ziegler with
Mhm.
art by Federico Vincentini and Frederica Manson with art
Mhm.
by Brian Valise. This just continues the current art that Miles has been on, where he's dealing with the Hobgoblin and also the Rabble, which is totally not Marvel Spider-Man's the Tinkerer, but
Yeah, but it might as well be.
it's one of those. Can I copy your homework? Sure, just don't
Mhm.
make it look like it.
Just don't make it look like it, as you literally do. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Again, good issue. Only lightly ties into Gang War. This is more dealing with the Hobgoblin issue that Miles is
Mhm.
dealing with over in Brooklyn.
Yeah. But that's kind of, I mean, it is kind of wrapping up. They are wrapping up all their individual battles before they get to the big one, so it makes sense.
Yep. They also even tell you right here, hey, this takes place before issue 42.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts number 3. This is written by Jackson Linton and Colin Kelly with art by Gerardo Borges and colors by Arthur Helsey. This was a really fun issue. We got to see Bucky take on the U.S. soldier and again stomp the crap out of John Walker while someone drugs this poor man who becomes kaiju, and we get to have giant Bucky fighting American kaiju in the middle of New
Kaiju.
York.
So that's what I mean. The whole thing of Shang-Chi putting that black clamp on, I was like, what is this supposed to do? You're basically gonna grow. You're gonna grow and fight the kaiju. Oh man, no, it was a good issue. I was really surprised about as far as Bucky kind of. Well, but then I guess Bucky now is being the Revolution, that they want to go after the Red Skull, and it's just weird that John Walker is like. Why it's like is he the poster boy for just disrespectful ass whippings now? I mean,
yes.
is he just now the
It's
poster
got to be
boy?
at this point.
It's like every time you see Walker, he gets his ass kicked. I'm like, Jesus, man. I mean, the first one, the Dora Milaje, that's on you. But I mean, you got walked up on this cafe,
John Walker. You are not him.
right?
You are not him. Let it go.
Just consistently getting your ass whooped. I'm like, sir,
He
at this
wasn't in
point,
Thunderbolts. He got his butt handed to him in the X-Men. He got his butt handed to him in Daredevil.
yeah,
That man just can't lose. In fact, I think Daredevil whipped his butt and took his shield with him.
yeah. Yeah, that was during the battle. Yeah, the Battle of the Dark. Yeah, with the hand and yeah, he did take a shield.
Turk somewhere in Hell's Kitchen, like, damn, I ain't never got my ass whooped like this.
Jesus,
I really like this issue. I'm sad that this is ending. We're only getting like 4 issues, but like, I think they're doing the right thing. I think Thunderbolts is a book that you use sparingly when you have a good story, or when you want to tell something very brief and use like characters that are not being used right now because
It's
no one's
actually
using
smart.
Professor whatchamacallit.
It's actually very smart. Like I think certain titles should do that. It doesn't matter what house is in. I think you should be able to take certain characters that really aren't being used and do like these limited runs.
Yeah.
Do a quick story arc, boom, boom, walk away. I mean, it tends to work because you always look forward to it. You can't mess up the story.
True.
And on top of that, there's also different variations of the Thunderbolts because we can't forget Luke is the mayor, and his personal superhero squad is Clint's version of the Thunderbolts. It's just Bucky sent Standoff, and when he was watching over Kobik, he also had his own group of Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
So there are multiple Thunderbolts, teams of Thunderbolts running around. It's just different people are using that name just because we're a group of redemptive villains, or we were all villains at one point. So we are here. So ergo, we constitute as Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But good book.
But yeah, it's still a good book.
I
But it
like
makes
giant kaiju battles.
Seems to be
This
the
was
talk
fun.
sound
This
lately,
was
too.
fun.
Jesus Christ, that book.
Follow the House of X2.
Hmm.
This is written by Jerry Duggan with art by Lucas Wernick and colors by Ryan Valencia. Let's just dump it. Let's have a. This was a fun issue. Pretty much, Lorna finally makes her big move and has herself as a new master of magnetism. Brings an entirely brood infested, although the good brood, not the bad version of the brood, the brood that brood runs, filled in the head of nowhere and just crashes into the Orchis base while Orchis is armed with anti-mutant technology. They are not armed with anti-brood technology.
Right.
Also, Wolverine, the little fun three-man team of Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Colossus are running around doing fun things too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
really like
the inverse. They earned the inverse fastball special that they're still trying to find a name for.
No, my favorite one is where like they have Wolverine captured and Nightcrawler and Pietro are in the Orchis costumes, and Colossus is very obviously the odd man. I was like, yes, I am also the Bob.
That part was funny. Just the whole thing. The whole, it's like you realize you're like 5 foot taller than everybody else. You kind of stand out.
It gives a whole new perspective on Luke and Han getting perfect sized stormtrooper outfits.
There you go.
Oh man, but yeah,
But
it
just
was.
Lorna, she is one of my favorite ladies of X, and God, this issue proves why. She even is like, I've also tried the coffee here. It's shit.
that was just petty. How you gonna sit there? How you gonna sit there and just with your shield have enough time with your with your bubble of magnetism, you still find a way to get coffee and you're still holding it. This is sheet. I was like,
she's definitely her father's daughter.
Yeah.
She showed up.
She definitely is that.
I love this one so much. It was so good. All right, moving on to comics that happened this week. Luke Cage #4 is written by Rodney Barnes with art by Ramon F. Box and colors by Andrew Dollhouse. And before we go on, I do want to say happy belated birthday to Dwayne McDuffie. He did celebrate a birthday this year.
Yep.
We miss him every single day because that man was a visionary in books. So let's talk about Luke Cage and the giant robot.
Luke Cage in the Hulkbuster light.
Is this Luke Cage cosplaying? Is this Luke cosplaying MF Doom?
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. Although he's just like, I have to protect my identity because I'm the mayor of New York. I'm like, but dude, it's obvious.
You're gonna stand out because you're you. But I'm sorry, Joe. But go ahead.
Everybody's right. That's pretty much what this book is. I also like we're like everyone's asking Jessica's like, do you let him talk like that? I mean, it's kind of turning me on. Do you let him talk like that at home? No.
That part was funny.
So he is still dealing with Spider Slayers. We've gotten a ragtag team of, I guess, heroes for hire with Danny Rand, his wife, and Cloak and Dagger. Luke is fighting off Spider Slayers and the Cage Buster. And this is actually moving forward with the 5th book. So I guess this is the series is getting expanded. I am all for it.
Although I wish he would have kept the Cage Buster, but come on, Danny, you have you have a multi-billion-dollar company. You have access to Stark Tech, and you give him a suit that doesn't even last 3 shots. Sir,
to be fair, we saw a damage meter.
You saw a damage meter, but 3 shots that you had to eject. I'm just saying.
As Lorna would say, this is shit.
I'm just saying, Danny, we appreciate you, but your Hulkbuster's kind of shit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is really a good book. I am very, very happy that this book gets to continue. I was going to be sad that this is just like wrapping it up and we're going forward, but it looks like a couple books are actually moving forward beyond Gang War, and we definitely need a Luke Cage book. It's due. We needed it.
A good one at that.
Mm-hmm.
A good one with a story at that. But yeah, you're right.
Moving on over. Now we got the more confusing one, Rise of the Powers of X, where Charles is out of space and time doing things, trying to figure out how Moira can kill Moira before Moira's powers activate, and Sentinels that have skeleton faces are crossing the Dominion and things. And I have perfectly described this book in every single way.
Yeah, because I'm sorry.
This is written by Kieran Gillian. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I was with the guy who was talking to Professor X inside Nora X. He's like, what we could do with Moira is just just be done with it. He's like, well, we don't know if that means her powers can be suppressed. I wasn't talking about suppressing. I was talking about ending her. Damn.
She's the worst ex-girlfriend ever.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if Moira, because of certain events, we don't know if Moira's actually playing the long game possible to where she doesn't, if we kill her, even worse things will happen, because I think she's going to be the one that takes out Nimrod in the long run.
So they're trying to predict her being the Nexus point.
That sounds like it.
I think she's going to be the key to stopping the Dominion and Nimrod. And I think that she had to do this to play the long game. And she just, because Charles and Magneto didn't trust her, she didn't let them in on how far this is actually going to have to go.
Okay.
That's just my speculation, because I'm starting some of the other books where she's popping up. It's like, oh, you're about to do a face turn.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, if she is doing a face turn, that is long book storytelling. Really is.
I think her plan is this is the only way we can beat the Dominion.
Yeah.
So that's just
that'd be a long way, though. But I mean, I can see your point.
But yeah, so this was a little bit more confusing.
Jesus.
Well, when you're dealing with Charles.
Well, you had Charles.
Chuck, man, this guy, I swear to God, this dude.
You had Charles literally playing pick a timeline. It's like, nope, can't use this one. Nope, can't use this one. Nope, shouldn't use this one. I think this might be it. It's like
Doctor Strange is somewhere just like shaking his head, like this dude here ain't got it. He ain't got it.
Doctor Strange would just walk up to him and say, "Pick one, just one." Just pick one and roll the dice on it. But no, interesting issue. But Joe's right. If you're not paying attention, you will get lost in it.
So this is Ultimate Spider-Man #2. This is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Marco Gicchetto. God, I love this book so much. This is what Spider-Man needs to be at all times. Oh my God.
It's Hickman. It's Hickman. Yep. That's the key. It's Hickman. I stand by that dude. Like he's on any one of these books. I'm like, you're in for a wild ride. Stay on it.
This is Hickman before he gets in his own way. That is what I'll say with this. Because there are times where Hickman will get in his own way.
Like a trash can?
Oh shit.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Because Hickman's also writing the main Ultimates book, and I don't think anybody cares about that book. I think everybody cares about the other 3 books coming out.
Yeah.
But no, this is a fantastic thing. Pete goes out in the black suit, fights the Shocker twice, and falls for Shocker's sob story both times. Ben and Jonah are sitting there BSing in a steam room. It's like, Peter's selling some really good photos. Like, what is all this? Like, we're technically not open. We don't have a name yet.
Working on it. I thought I'm sorry. I just like the fact that Peter fell into the same trash can twice. Like, how do you wind up in the same trash can?
Yeah, I'm so
twice?
sorry. It's just
Now, my favorite scene has to be where, like, he's sitting there eating, and his daughter May's like, "I don't like this black suit guy. He's scary." And then he's just sitting there eating ice cream. You just hear sniff, and he just looks at his daughter like, "Oh boy."
It's like, let me hurry up and bribe her before she tells her mother. It's like, oh, well, you can always. I guess they're trying to say that's where the red and blue is going to come from, which again I can dig, which I dig that. Yeah, through his daughter. So it for it to be an ultimate storyline, I am digging it. But the fact that we obviously see the Green Goblin, but
yeah, this covers a lie.
Yeah. It's like you're sitting there seeing Green Goblin. It's like he didn't attack. I'm curious. Like it's like we know we're not gonna get Norman Osborn with the waves. That ain't happening because, well, then again, it might happen, but yeah, who knows? We might get the original Wave character of MCU back, but I don't know if it'll actually work for the storyline though.
This was so good. I miss good Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's
we'll
not,
get it back
it's,
someday.
it's not confusing. It's not convoluted. It's not overbearing. It just is.
It's almost as if they got a competent story writer.
Yeah.
We also get Mary Jane and Peter as a happily married couple where they talk to each other. It's like, you doing good? No, I'm great. You look like you're working out a little bit. I'm doing what I can. Is there anything I need to know? No. Is there anything I should know? Not right now, but if I need to tell you something,
it's the not right now.
It's
the not right now.
Not right now. That part.
No, but he's at least forthcoming. It's like if I do need to tell you something, I will tell you. And Mary Jane's like, cool. I get that.
I like it. Actually, the whole relationship, not just between Peter and Mary Jane, but the relationship between Peter and J. Jonah and Ben.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is healthy. All of this is healthy. It's not crazy.
Not crazy, not toxic, not self-destruction at all. It's almost as if it's a actual decent environment.
Like even in the first issue where you get Peter at the job, he was running a few minutes late. And then here comes JJ. Parker. Oh, hey Peter. Parker. Like,
right.
He's calling Ben. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice.
And plus, the interesting thing is we don't know what Ben Parker is like as a character because in every iteration, yes, he's a very sweet man, but
he gets unalived early.
He gets unalived real quickly, and there's also a different Parker where he doesn't have May, so he has not been raising Peter. He's been raising Peter his whole life.
Yeah,
right.
Not stopping at 16. So a lot of what Peter's like now is based off how he grew up with Ben, and this is a Ben like
still
literally no one's ever seen before.
Yeah, still dealing with May's death and still dealing with the aftermath of what happened prior to the whole thing restarting, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah,
makes sense.
But I think that's why this Peter is so much more well-adjusted is he did not have and I don't mean to be derogatory on this, but he did not have a doddering old woman raising him the majority of his life. He had an equal part mother-father upbringing, this Peter did. So that's why he is like this is.
So basically a well-balanced life.
Yes.
Without the wheat pancakes.
Yeah.
No, the wheat cakes were there. They just Ben was just like, okay, we've had enough of that. Come on, let's go get some steak and eggs. There's the Ben down the road.
Oh man.
I mean, we never seen much of Ben, but I mean, Madam Web tried.
Yeah.
Is this with or without the boom mic in the shot?
I don't know. I didn't even bootleg the movie, so y'all tell me.
No, you can go on Twitch. I think it's still at Madam Web 24/7, and it's flat out showing the movie.
Are you? You know what?
If I burn through Avatar and Bad Batch this weekend, maybe I have time for that.
Yeah, go check and see if it's still up on Twitch.
I'm afraid to mess with my system right now because if it does, I'm gonna be laughing. So I'm gonna wait till later. I'll wait till after the podcast. We'll check in.
We'll move on. Cobra Commander, written by Josh Williamson with art by Adrian Molina and art by Annalisa Leone. So Cobra Commander goes to the Dreadnought swamps because he's tracking the source of Energon, and the Dreadnoughts are basically what we couldn't show in G.I. Joe, but you knew what they were from Jump Street. They are very, very Bayou Deliverance Hicks, which have no problem killing people left and right.
And in various ways.
Also,
they showed that one. So what?
We may or may not have Crocobots.
Oh, we do.
Or Alicons.
I think one of them is just the end shot. Although the whole thing of Cobra Commander going to a gator farm is still funny to me. Going to a gator farm in full on trench coat and being annoyed about being there while everybody's looking at him is like, how are you not hot?
Like, where he wants to kill that kid, and his guardian is like, "No, we don't need the unneeded attention."
And then ditches the guardian. But yeah, it was an interesting one. Like I said, this whole premise of course, with G.I. Joe and Transformers, it is slowly building up. But I am finding myself, even though between Duke and Cobra Commander, I do find myself reading Cobra Commander a lot more because for some odd reason he's more like a grumpy old scientist that he's just like, why are we here? Cobra La was a dumpster fire, but it was better than here. I was like,
on top of that, Duke, you have the everyman G.I. Joe voice. The Cobra Commander, you can only read it in Cobra Commander's voice.
That is true.
It's the best way to hear it. It's the best way to hear it. It's just the best way to listen to it. If you don't hear that, alive, just retreat. If you don't get that high pitch and just deal with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like he's just a little bit more tired and over it. It's like that really strung out Starscream. It was like, sure, Megatron, whatever.
Oh Lord, I'm hearing this whole.
Oh, I was just keeping this throne warm for you, Serpentor.
I'll be hearing Megatron's voice in my head now. It's like, you failed me again, Starscream. You have failed me again. It's like, one day
I'm waiting for the eventual crossover of this universe's Starscream and Cobra Commander.
And you thought I was ambitious. I was like, see, that's just gonna be messed up. I see Megatron. I didn't expect this out of him, but you.
Now Megatron's just gonna show up. It's like, who took my arm?
That's gonna be interesting. And this Starscream's gonna say that, Lord Megatron, he's like, this human had your arm, and you knew about it for how long?
Remember, Prime's got his arm.
Yeah, true. That is true. Prime does have his arm, but I can just see classic Megatron. It's like, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You question him thoroughly, but that's just me.
The fact that he kept him around for so long,
right?
He's like, I know you're no good.
Well, he was a mission air commander, so he put up with it.
Yeah, like I know you're waiting for me to die. You won't do it yourself, so I ain't worried about the backstabbing part of it.
That part, but we do.
My favorite thing about Starscream is when he's legitimately elected to be ruler of Cybertron. And it's like, all right, I got what I wanted. God, this sucks.
The fact
no one likes being in charge.
Yeah, right. It's all fun and games. So you hate responsibilities.
Yeah.
And your yes man is Rat Trap. He's like, I've made a mistake.
Like I fully expect the next Black Panther to have like a shot of M'Baku just bored out his fucking mind in a suit. Like I hate this shit. I wish I was never king. I hate everything about this. Put me back in my outfit.
Just put me back on the mountain. This was not what I signed up for. But speaking of Black Panther, Chris, we do got to ask you because we were kind of waiting, and again, we're going to fully talk about Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther issue 1. If you have not read the issue, well, I'm sorry, it's kind of been out for a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about it. If you don't want to hear it, please mute us for the next few minutes. But me and Joe have read it. Tafari, have you read it?
I have not, but I heard it's hard to find on shelves right now.
Oh yeah, it's sold out.
They get snatched up really quick.
The first, actually, I want to say
they're not
the
expecting
first,
a second printing to release at the end of March.
Yeah. So that just goes to show you that it's that popular. And of course, if you go on eBay, they're available. But again,
you're gonna pay a king's ransom.
Yeah, jack the price on eBay. But with that being said, Mr. Fury, sir, I have to ask you your opinion on issue 1 of Ultimate Black Panther.
This is good. I like some of the changes. When you know the history like I do, and spoiler alert, he's married to the general, General Okoye, and when you think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah,
because his father T'Chaka in the movies is married to Ramonda, who also used to be Adora. So it's kind of the traditional path of the things that they do. But I'm like, but this looks good, and the art in here looks pretty clean too.
Right.
So, Chris, I do have something to ask on this one. Do you feel it's a marriage of tradition or of love? Because when we got to their bedroom, they had a
separate room,
honeymoon
separate beds
style setup.
Yeah, I think it's more tradition than anything. It's more tradition and respect. That's what it looks like when you see the separate bedroom or the separate beds in the bedroom. Is like, okay, this isn't your traditional marriage per se, but this is tradition. How he has to take on a wife. This is kind of like the thing, he has to take on a wife, and that's it. A little different having the mask without the mouthpiece, but then that's what Sherry's there for, So
yeah,
but yeah, I really like it. I really like it.
So I did not realize this upon the first reading, but the two people that are doing it are legit Ra and Khonshu, just in human form. I thought they were like this universe's Mark Spector and the guy doing Hunter's Moon.
No,
apparently,
no, I was thinking the same thing.
Khonshu and Ra.
Yeah. Which again makes the story even better because now you're not dealing with avatars. You're actually dealing with the Egyptian gods themselves.
Yeah. So
again,
the fact that their whole conversation about like Sherry's ready to go to war, like flat out.
Yeah.
She's like ready. I'm ready. And that's always been Sherry's thing, whether it's the Ultimate line or the regular line. She's always been like, I'm ready to cut some heads off. We're done talking. Let's get to work.
Right.
But even in this one, he once again he's playing it right. He's like, I never said we weren't going to do anything. We just need to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And I like that dynamic between not just him and Sherry, but him, Sherry, and Okoye, where they're talking. And then like Sherry has a completely different relationship with the Dora. Because the Dora, like, we'll back you. Like we about to smoke too, so we'll back you,
Yeah,
so
no, but it made sense though. But no, it's just this issue. This is why I say I like it, because not only the direction they're going, not only because Black Panther is basically fighting Egyptian gods in this one, and the artwork. You know what I think it is? I have yet to see, even though we only have right now Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Spider-Man, the artwork between the two has been great. I mean, it's not sloppy, it's clean, it's defined,
not hard to follow at all.
Right. And I mean, it's so far setting up for a good story. But yeah, I just had to get your opinion on this because again, I consider you like the foremost authority on Black Panther because of how much you know, which dwarfs a lot of what I know about Black Panther. So there's a reason I want to get your opinion on that.
I think there's one other person, and that's Caramel Horn. I'm like, she's got the door part locked down, so I like that. So,
Chris, do you think the matron that he has to go see is his mom?
I believe so.
That's what I was going with.
I believe so.
How do you feel about the pairing of Killmonger and totally not Storm?
Because when I first reading, I was just like, get the hell out. Wait, that can't be. And so, but once again, Eric chooses, or Ninjaka chooses to once again choose violence. It's just like, look, we got work to do. Like, and once again, this proves like Shiri and Killmonger are two sides of the same coin, almost. But Killmonger always has a way of just like, I was waiting on a Killmonger to show up.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible not to have Killmonger show up to kind of upend things, because if he shows up, every time he's shown up, whether it's the Ultimates, whether it's in the regular 616, it's always a version of him like he might be a good guy this time. He doesn't stay there. He can't stay there. It's beyond his nature. Like, oh, I'm a scientist this time. You know, when they always want to reboot stuff.
Yeah,
scientist this time, and you know, I mean, well, but then something gets in his head. Somebody does something the wrong way. It doesn't look. It does. Nothing's vibing. You know, so he switches sides. So yeah, the artwork in here, Killmonger showing up with not Storm, because I'm just like I'm like, that ain't Storm. That ain't Storm. I was like,
well, remember this universe, the X-Men are not there. The X-Men are primarily Japanese based, and we do know that the new Storm is the apprentice of actual Aurora.
Yeah.
So, and Aurora, one of Aurora's many names is Wind Rider. So, totally not Storm. It's Aurora. She may not go by Storm in this universe.
Right.
Fair point. But that's what we want to know about, sir. So we appreciate that, as well as we kind of get to the end of our comics. I think, is that all of our comics, Joe? Or we are.
That was it.
Okay. Okay, because I know we did have to pick up, because we had a lot of trailers from last week to catch up on, as well as to get up for this week. So as we are about to kind of call tonight, we do want to do, as we always call, shameless plugging, and I'm going to start with Tafari first.
Hola, you can find me officially under here at all platforms. I post on Mondays because Mondays suck and I try to make them less terrible. Or you can currently join me on what is going to be my first binge of the original X-Men series before 97 drops. I'm currently at the part where apparently we have an OJ and the X-Men crossover, because TV's hostage during the Days of Future Past arc. So that's been fun watching. I would have PTSD in my comment section. I also do the editing for the Blurred's Eye View channel. We are a few hours away from monetization, and I think we got an extension on our clock. So please make my suffering end before midnight, and please help us to finish this thing off. Also, it is Black History Month. We still have a few more days left. Please support a Black business, support a Black creator, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Also, the trolls are heavy towards the latter end of the month. We do have an extended period of headassery that possibly may show up. So your ban, block, and delete buttons are your best friends. Do not spend 30 days in meta maximum security.
Unless you go to Tafari's page and they want to cut up there, and then you can go in there like we did.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where like I just let stuff on Facebook ride, because like I'll get stuff when I clock into work, and I'm like, should I say something? And then when I clock out, I'm like, nope, everybody else is jumping that guy. So
yeah.
That dude still,
I think half the crew just got in there. It was just like, are we doing this? Okay, we're doing this.
Y'all were funny. The other people were just like, send your address, please. I'm like, this guy violent.
Right. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh man, your man on the wall, Chris Fury here. Thank you for tuning in with Get Big Podcast.
Tried to go to autopilot, didn't you?
We took Thursday off, but we're normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, and IG. You can check us out wherever you listen to your podcasts, including iHeart, Spotify, Apple, and now the Beyond Air Network. You can also watch us on alwayspressrecord.com. You can go to alwayspressrecordtv.com and check us out on your Amazon and Roku devices. Check us out on the YouTube channel. Go show your love over there. We're just a couple hours short of being monetized, so show your love. Hit that subscribe and that notification bell. The Phil Lamar interview is blowing stuff out the water right now. Clips and the full interview itself. So go over there, check it out, watch it, play it in the background. Tell your mom, tell your friends, tell your granny, because you know grannies like that type of stuff. And we'll see y'all Tuesday.
All right. Joe, what about you, man? What you got going on?
Still more Tekken. Can I tell a story where I blew somebody up?
Yeah, go for it.
The way, very
Go for it.
nonchalantly, of course, the way he says it.
Although for the CIA and FBI, we mean how you beat somebody down in a video game, not actually blowing somebody up.
No, someone tried to come for me verbally, and it was hilarious. So beat this dude. He calls me out on Facebook, and he was like, "You just kept spamming." It's like, and it kept hitting you. It's like, yeah, but you only spam one combo. It's like, then block low. Then he goes like, "I'm sorry, I don't have any money for you." And I'm sitting there like reading it. It's like, are you new at this insult game or whatnot? So I did the only thing I could do. I gave into the dark side on that one. And it was like, well, Curly, because your wallet's about as empty as your skill set.
Oh, okay, that's fighting words.
So then he says like, your feet don't touch the ground. I'm like, oh, you argue with this.
What'd you say? Oh, baby.
I literally just posted a gif of some guy going, "Oh, you're new."
I could have just sit there and said the whole entire time. This is your first time roasting somebody, isn't it?
And then he made it like a in-game pun. It's like when someone comes for me, I just got a rage art. It's like, okay, my dude, I'm gonna be straight with you. Here's what I'm literally telling you, and I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm not trying to roast you. Block low, because if you're new to the game, a lot of Tekken players that have been playing for a while, we will attack low because we know you guys do not block low. You mostly block mid, because that's where the majority of our strings come from. So if I continue to hit you low, you do need to block low.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not trying to roast. It's like, no, legit block low and start sidestepping, and you'll go a little further. But it's just those comments. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't have money for it. It's like,
you almost had to sit there and go, like, look, okay, we'll cover trash talking in the next
Next class.
But you need to focus on this little thing called comprehension. I'm trying to help you.
Nah, so yeah, I will stream some Tekken for about an hour to an hour and a half every so often through the week over at Total Justice Gaming or over at my Twitch, Joe Italian last name. I'm in the Orange Barrier, which is that first big difficulty hump in skill level where it's just one of the things where you got to try and get your skills up to push forward, or that's that wall you're going to be at with for a while if you don't know your matchups, don't want to take rematches. And, I'm at that point now where I'm starting to like, I can't learn. Unfortunately, I cannot learn anything from you if I'm sweeping you this badly if I'm doing basically the 5 moves of doom on you and you keep hitting it,
that's pretty bad.
Can't learn anything from you. So I'm not going to give you the rematch. And I hate doing that to people. Honest to God, I do. Because I want to be able to learn these matchups. I'm not trying to be pro, but I want to take myself as far as I can. If I can't learn anything, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time, because all I'll do is just continue to frustrate the opponent.
Fair.
And that's going to come off as disrespectful, because literally I will 5 moves of doom with this person because he's just not going to learn.
Well, then
but here's the other side of it. You are never guaranteed a rematch. That's the thing I've learned. It's the right thing to do is rematch if they put up a good fight, because good Lord, you can see in the newest video, I got rocked to crap by someone playing Asuka because I do not know the Asuka matchup because I do not play against her enough. She's up in higher stuff, but I also got plug pulled on somebody today too from in the video because someone rage quit against me. So there's that. But other than that, now I'm preparing to go to New York for a Ghostbuster trip.
Oh, so you're going? Nice.
Yes. Nice. Everything's on a shoestring budget. Spirit Airlines. I got an Airbnb over in Hoboken. Everything's shoestring, but I'm getting to go.
We are gonna say so many prayers for you get on that airline. Oh, Spirit.
They were better than I give them credit for, but still, them seats could use some kind of cushion in them.
Well, that's where you go to the back and get the chickens from the freight area and then put them in the seat. That's
Oh well, we
why you
definitely
make
won't.
the seaters comfortable. They are feather cushioning, so long as you go get the feathers yourself.
So you will be there for the Frozen Empire show then.
Yeah, I will be there from the 13th through 17th.
Nice.
And there is the premiere on the 14th. Then there's 2 Jersey premieres that we will possibly be hitting up, as well as running around New York itself. I mean, there's so many things in Times Square alone. I want to go to the Pokemon Center. I want to go to the Harry Potter store. I want to go to Midtown Comics. That's just Times Square on its own.
I always want to go to Midtown.
You go to Midtown Comics, you're gonna be broke.
Yeah.
No, I
Go in there, you'll come out broke.
I know what my budget is, because I know, especially right now, because of somebody on TikTok, there's a trucker boycott in NYC, so I'm expecting prices to be jacked up. So I'm going to be living off on dollar slices and whatever's over in Hoboken.
See, that's you need to hit up Lady Mandalore. Lady Mandalore lives in New York. She'll be able to guide you through it.
Yeah, but I don't want to make Kara come into the city if she doesn't have to.
No, she'll tell you where to go. She lives in New York.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. I'll
Yeah,
just hit
she'll
up
tell you.
Kara for that. But like, I don't want to bother her if I don't have to. I mean, she's doing stuff. It's Kira.
She'll still be happy to help. But with that being said, guys, there is some shameless plugging I would do want to do first when I get to myself. I do want to shout out to my boy Vaughn at Big VZA Dot, where you can find his page as far as Big VZA Dot on all socials. He does beats for almost practically anything. So definitely hit him up, Big VZA Dot on all socials. Outside of Blurred Station, the reason why I want to bring up Blurred Station is for one of 2 reasons. Number one, myself, Safari, and Chris Fury are all part of this wonderful mechanism called Blurred Station. If you don't know about it, you should, because it is where we need to be. Because we need to do what Blurred Station basically is what should have been what Tubi got successful off of, which is basically a lot of creators giving their blood, sweat, and tears to something they don't get back. But at Blurred Station, you do, because guess what, content creators? At Blurred Station, you get to keep your content. They just want to get a piece of distribution. That's it. At the same time, they have shows like Issue 1, comics like Blood Emblem and Air Force Ones. They actually have other things that are coming out. And for all those people that say that's not enough, here's this little section I want to point out really quick that says FAQ. If you're a content creator that thinks you can add content to Blur Station, go here. And then once you go there, you can sit there and go this little section right here that says, how can I work with Blur Station? How can you work with Blur Station? I'm glad you asked. Go down and read it. It pretty much tells you how. So again, if you want to work with Blur Station, you first need to be subscribed to Blur Station. And Blur Station is $10.99 a month, guys. $10.99 a month. I don't know about you, but $10.99 a month is a steal, because not only can you watch Blur Station, you can actually get food. To me, that's a bonus. I'm a guy that eats. I don't want to be able to get Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and Star. That's just me. But at the same time, content creators, if you subscribe to Blur Station, you'll be able to pitch your ideas, hopefully get on, and be able to enjoy the content that's already there and be able to actually own your content that's there. But that's not the only reason we have about Blur Station, because as of today, fellow Blurred Hellspawn Cosplay actually had some news.
Because I know how this algorithm works, okay? The TLDR is the fact that we've signed Michael Jai White to KDS Entertainment and Blurred Station to be a producer on one of our shows, as well as an actor. Okay, now that you're paying attention, all right? The man understood what we were doing. We showed him our decks. He was like, y'all know what y'all are doing. I want in, I want to help. Great. So that means that Blurred Station and KDS is building more credibility and legitimacy within the right communities. Okay. That lets you all know that we're not some sort of fly-by-night operation that you've seen before that you would be afraid of, because there have been bad examples. So if you have continued to support us by being a subscriber, great. Look, we're doing it. And if you had to take a break because you didn't see anything just yet, come back. All right. It's working. It's happening. It's coming. All right. So this is really big news. It's big for my life. You know, I've I am just ecstatic. I am excited because, again, Spawn is a pivotal moment for me. He's tattooed all over me. And, we are doing it. We are working. So I'm not.
And I
have a
all I
quick
can
question.
say, go for it.
Which is whose stunt doubles? Michael Jai White, Demetrius' stunt double, or is Demetrius Michael Jai White's stunt double?
If you ask Demetrius, he will gladly be the stunt double.
I'm confused. It's like Frank Welker voicing two characters in the same show. It's just the same picture.
He would gladly be the stunt double if he had the chance. But no. But yes, that's Blur Station, guys. Again, we are announcing that Michael Jai White is joining as a producer, and as Demetrius said, we at this point are trying to show Blur Station as a legit entity. We're not fly by night. As he said, there have been many other people, Black Sands, that have tried to actually be something that, for the people, but they're not Black Sands. So again, it's happening. It's great. And you can join this boat for $10.99 a month. And after 36 months, you get the opportunity to own a piece of Blur Station. Now, owning a piece of Blur Station is like owning a piece of Apple, Netflix, or anything of that nature, except you're not paying an assload amount of money just to go through E-Trade and get a simple share of it. So again, blurstation.com, definitely check it out. Join now, select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership, select any Affinity member there, and again, it's $10.99 a month. You cannot beat that with a stick. That being said, I do want to, of course, I plug myself. Pause.
Poor Manny. No, not.
That being said, guys, you can find me BlackSpark_615 on all the socials. I do reviews on almost everything, including gym stuff, because I do like to keep in shape. Definitely check out the blurredeyeview.org website as I do as in the column writer for wrestling. Why? Because wrestling is real and people are fake. And if you're wondering if I'm staying up to watch Elimination Chamber at 3 a.m. in the morning, depending if my son wakes up. So again, I'm going to ask everybody there really quick their opinions on that. But yes, check out birdseyeview.org. Also check out my shows, How the Fact We Got Here, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Of course, Get Fit every Friday at 7 p.m. Both podcasts can be found where a podcast can be seen or heard. And guys, we keep stressing this enough. We cannot do this without you. What I mean by that is, just simply don't like and walk off. Like, share, subscribe, tell people about it. Me and Joe get approached all the time. Well, we love what you do. Okay, great. Are you telling other people about it? Because much like PBS, we only work off the crowd. And if the crowd ain't paying attention, then how are you going to know about us? It's like good food. You don't keep it to yourself. You tell people about it. So again,
we keep it to ourselves. I don't want I don't want other people come to that restaurant.
Sounds like Kira.
You sound exactly like Kira on that one, Joe. But again, guys, like, share, and repeat. And of course, my cosplay rules, because cosplay season is coming back up. Again, respect the cosplayer at all times. Please wash your ass. So I literally, as I was going to the gym today, had to stop at a Kroger's, and there was a guy who smelled like I'll be damned, trying to figure out what soap he wanted. I didn't want to discourage him because he was solving half his problem. But again, if you're going out in public, whether it's to a cosplay event or anything else of that nature, again, wash your ass. And number 3 is the same rule that I have for myself as for everybody else, guys. In a world like we're living in right now, be nice, be kind, don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. So again, for all those, before I wipe this off. Oh, Tafari, you going to say something? I'm sorry, you had your hand up. You're muted, sir.
You're good. I was doing some of my own camera.
I saw you doing sign language. Like
I was messing with the blur while you were up with the, because it always cuts my hand off when I start pointing at Joe when he's muted.
I was like, Joe, you doing sign language, Tafari?
No, I was messing with the blur filter on stream.
But yes, Elimination Chamber is happening for WWE again. This is Australia, down under, much like
Not
China.
Austria.
Oh, is that why it's like 5 in the morning?
Say what?
Is that why it's like 5 a.m. for us?
Yes, it'll be 4 a.m. Central Time, which means it'll be 5 a.m. Eastern. Because of Australia's, we're passing by the Greenwich time, so it's like A lot of people in the UK right now are looking at us and going, see, now you know how it feels. I'm sorry, UK people. I'm still going to sleep unless Obi decides to wake up, and then it's a nice little 4 hours trying to get him back to bed. But I love my son. But that being said, guys,
you don't want to be like RR Truth and get a plane to Austria instead of Australia.
That was a good rip. But predictions, anything to say about Elimination Chamber? Are we watching it? Are we skipping it? Because I know I'm going to be watching and giving my review that's going to be on blurredsedeyeview.org. But any potential choices, or are we going to see anything different?
I'm skipping it because I got to hit the gym in the morning.
Don't blame you. Joe?
I'll be asleep or getting donuts.
You know what?
Those are two extremes.
I'll get the recap from y'all.
You know the thing about this is, I wonder what time Krispy Kreme opens up, because if I'm gonna be up at 4 a.m. in the morning, you know what? Let me shut up. That sounds like a fat person on that one. That sounds like a fat person on that one, because there is a Krispy Kreme that's open 24/7 across from a hospital, and I know where it is. But that being said, guys, as we wrap this up, we will be here in some form of capacity next week. Same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. As we wrap this up, guys, any last words?
Don't be like R Truth.
Yeah, don't be like R Truth and misspell. Spelling is important. Literally and figuratively, spelling is important.
You mean more top
I was like, is this real? It's real.
The fact he said he went to Austria and didn't see anybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of missing a letter, but all right. But with that being said, guys, the last thing we'll say about Get Bit is about fandoms. We love them, we share them, we have interesting debates about them. The last thing we want to be is toxic gatekeepers or those that want to down somebody simply because our tastes are different. This is the world of fandoms that we want to love and share, and in doing so, tell people about them. Allow them to like them or dislike them. It is completely okay either way. The only way these fandoms stay around and survive is that we have an open mind and not a closed-off mind. In the words of Will Wheaton, as I usually say, don't be a dick about it because somebody's taste is different than yours, and that it's completely okay. In the words of Davey Montel, it's completely okay to be a blurred. You are what you should be, and therefore you should not apologize for it. So, that being said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. We do thank you all for liking, watching, sharing, and again, this will replay back in next Saturday. Aside from that, guys, he's been Chris. He's been Tafari. I'm pointing in multiple directions and not getting this right. He's Joe. I'm Will. This is the Get It Podcast for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll all get through this. Peace.